Welcome back to Weekend Movie Bros.
Okay, this doesn't have to be a prolonged shot here. Just, get to it.
Weekend Movie Bros. Weekend Movie Bros. Weekend Movie. I'm Jacob. That's idiot. Oh, that's idiot. I'm idiot. That's idiot too. Wait,
You're
which
still
way is
pointing
this?
that direction.
This way.
There you go.
Nope, that's Ellie. This way is idiot.
There you go.
And we are Weekend Movie Rose, the podcast where we talk about movie news. Sometimes it's old movie news. Get the fuck over it.
If you're new to our new format here, we do this podcast now bi-weekly. So every 2 weeks you see what's going on in the world of movie news. Some of this stuff is still relevant to this day because Sony can't keep their damn mouth shut, and Disney's like, Chapek. But we'll get all to that in the later segments. Jacob, where do you want to start first?
That's a great question. I feel like the one that's in here that's the most enticing personally for me, okay?
I know which one it is. Okay.
What's the title, Zachary?
So it's a Play-Doh good time, and I don't know if that's going to be the case, but, I've learned not to, really diss these kind of films because otherwise the Lego movie wouldn't have happened. So, don't diss it till you see it.
We also got the Emoji Movie because we didn't diss it, and that was a choice.
Jacob, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about Emoji.
Can you not?
Sorry. So yes, this is a real thing. I forget which company is producing. I think it's Paramount. I could be wrong. Or Warner Brothers. It's one of the two. And director John M. Chu from Crazy Rich Asians and also the, most underrated musical last year, In the Heights, is directing a film about the squishy things you make things out of called Play-Doh. What's the story? There's no story yet. We don't know. Who's in it?
Well,
God forbid who's ever in this movie.
So, to add context to what Zachary's saying here, because I figured we probably wanted context, do we? We do. I decided to go to the actual deadline, the one that broke the news. Did you break the news?
Deadline breaks the important ones.
And we have Play-Doh, Emily V. Gordon to write, John M. Chu circling to direct animated pig for E1 and Hasbro about colorful clay.
So this is a Paramount movie. Because Hasbro's Paramount.
I'm sorry. The person who wrote The Big Sick is writing this? That's a choice.
God, this movie's going to make you feel like an absolute piece of Play-Doh.
So this is the quote that they gave. The team looks forward to bringing the audience a moldable, pliable, iconically scented story about importance of imagination. It's the #1 arts and crafts toy brand, and it's sold in more than 80 countries. I was supposed to say 80 million.
Your quote says, and I quote again, the moldable, pliable, scented story.
Why, yes. Go see it in 4D.
Oh, good God. Oh. Now, I have to remember, we were saying all this before the Lego movie came out. Who cares about a bunch of bricks?
Some people still feel that way, in their defense. Some people still feel that way.
But it's still a film that shouldn't have been as good as it is.
That's true.
Put that out there. We're still also waiting on this whole Tetris trilogy that we're getting. Where's that at?
They realized it was a bad idea. I did. They realized it was a bad idea, and they jumped ship as they should.
There's also, oh God, man, there's so many dumb marketing movies coming out. There's one. But here's the thing. Putting all the comedy bits about this aside, because there's a lot of comedy bits they can do with this. If this was in the hands of Seth Rogen, the R-ratedness of this project would be infallible. But
it'd also be amazing because you just imagine what they could create with these things,
right?
Where we would go, in what orifices.
But then I look at the Ninja Turtles concept art for his Ninja Turtle films, and I go, no, stay away from that, buddy, stay away from that.
So speaking of Paramount, this is definitely a Paramount movie, as it would go on to later talk about other Paramount Hasbro projects that are coming up. Let's talk about those instead, because this is just sad. We have Dungeons and Dragons, which actually looks pretty good based on the set photos. I'm really looking forward to that one. We'll see how the trailer goes. Comes out March 3rd, 2023. We're less than a year out, which is kind of crazy, to be fair. This has been in developmental hell for like ever. It's a bit scary on that one.
Yeah,
And then we also have Transformers, which comes out in June of next year. So like
Rise of the Beast.
Paramount does have, their things.
But listen, they have success with their Hasbro stuff, whether you like it or not. The Transformers films were successful, and the one that was the least
4.8
successful
billion
should have been
worldwide.
exactly, and that includes Bumblebee. People need to
Yeah,
remember
it's
that includes Bumblebee because that's part of
and
the
just
overall
scribbled in there.
franchise.
Just
They also did GI Joe, which was a Hasbro property. They did none of them did very well, but they still continue to try to do something with that. I know we're getting a GI Joe series on Amazon for Lady J. That is a current thing they're working on through E1, and Hasbro. As which I'm very excited about. That'll be something interesting. And they're also doing something with Micronauts. They're doing something with, Hasbro is trying to overlay its properties, and Play-Doh is one of them.
I
And
I have this. Sorry. I do agree, and I'm not trying to interrupt you. I keep reading new titles that are coming to us, and I just don't know how I feel about some of this stuff. So obviously, Power Rangers is getting a new TV adaptation. No
Netflix is
shocker
in
there.
control. Netflix is in control of all the Power Rangers stuff. That's where I'll be
And then
leaving.
D&D is also getting a television series as well.
So here's my thing. I'll pause you on the D&D thing real quick. People have been talking about
Sure.
this, and it needs to be read. A D&D movie that makes sense. Go for it. We are living in a world right now where we've had Game of Thrones. We were having Lord of the Rings at the end of this year. D&D needs to do something special in order to stand out. Otherwise, it's going to look like a wannabe Game of Thrones Lord of the Rings ripoff.
I mean, here's
That's
the
all I'm
thing.
saying.
Vox Machina is based off a D&D game.
But it does its own twist and turn. Like, it doesn't feel like the other two. This is a live action show that has to be different from Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings. It has to be different from the two because it's in a
I
fantasy
say
genre show.
we say fuck it, and we go super meta with this shit. You grab
Exactly.
you grab a group of teens that are nerds. You sit them down in a basement. You have them play D&D, and then as they play the game, you jump into it with kind of like
Exactly.
Jumanji, kind of like do a Jumanji
This is how
ripoff.
you do a D&D show. It's not
Do
You
a
don't make it
Jumanji,
a drama
and
filled
then
fantasy show. You don't
no,
do it that way.
and then you have people in the background screaming, hit point, or whatever. Like if we're gonna do
Please.
it, go the full mile. You know what I mean?
Because the movie is going to be what they want to be, a drama filled, fantasy adventure. The show can't be that. It just can't because it's going to feel
Unless
like,
it's a spin-off of the movie.
which we don't know what
Which
it's going to be.
yeah, so we're also getting Risk. Yes, you heard me correct. We're getting a Risk TV show. Don't know
Listen,
how.
if Risk is done right, Risk could be a really good show. I'm telling
And
you, because
also Magic.
Matt, there are so many ways magic can go.
It's animated, so I feel like it's
That's
pretty
even
good.
better. I think animated magic is better than live action magic. Magic as a live action show, I don't think would work. But this is also, besides Pokemon, this will be the first trading card based adaptation for a trading card game. The only one who hasn't done this yet, and I think it's smart of them to not do it yet, is Yu-Gi-Oh! Because Yu-Gi-Oh! Would be, I think, the most
Yu-Gi-Oh has
expensive,
TV shows.
not live action.
Oh, neither is Magic. I mean, and Pokemon live action, I liked it, but
I love
it,
Detective Pikachu. It's one
a
of
lot of
the
people don't.
it's one of the better game
So,
adaptations.
and Risk is also going to be animated. They also have a Ouija coming back, Clue, another Clue, and Mousetrap. I'm not sure what Mousetrap is, but
It's an old game we used to play. It's where you try to get the mouse down to the trap, and they have to get the cheese.
so it
Clue, I'm
so
not excited about at all.
so hold on. So basically, what you're telling me is that like the whole point of it is to kill the mouse.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
curious to see what they do with that one. All
But
right,
I'm not
well,
excited for Clue at all.
well, you know,
We already have a great Clue movie. I don't know how they're gonna do it any better.
well, we'll just have to wait and see. I'm sure we'll go see it. I do like
But
a murder
Jacob,
mystery.
back to the main topic here. How do you feel about a Play-Doh film?
I mean, Here's the thing. We gonna go ham with the children, or are we gonna go ham with the adults? If it's ham with the children, I'm out. If it's ham with the adults, I'm super fucking curious. And that's just how I feel.
I knew this would be the
Because
first topic we talk about.
here's the thing. I did watch the Emoji Movie.
I'm sorry.
I did see that movie. And there was elements that worked. Do you want to know what the elements that worked in that movie were? The human ones. No, the human elements. Not the emojis. The emojis were the worst part.
Good
So
God, they made Sir Patrick Stewart a piece of poo.
But here's the thing. Like, Play-Doh is made out of everything, right? So does that mean everything's going to be talking? Like, you walk across a bridge of Play-Doh. It's technically made out of something that's speaking.
So here's my theory. Here's where it can go. It can either do one of two things. If it's an animated film, then it might. I'm guessing
It's animated.
If they're clever enough, they can do a claymation movie out of this and really go a full step forward with it and make it, a real Play-Doh film. The other thing is that this is going to be something either CG or whatever. And to me, if it's a CG film, then it takes away from what Play-Doh is. Play-Doh is, then they can pretty much do whatever they want with it. Play-Doh is constrictive, like you have to work with it. And so I kind of hope it's in the animation style of the Lego movie a little bit. I think that's the animation style it needs to go down, not a simple CGI 3D platform thing, whatever. It needs to go down a more, not realistic, but more in a way where it feels like you're playing with it. Because a CG movie wouldn't feel like it at all.
Okay, let's move on. Let's be honest. We spent too much time talking about Play-Doh.
10 minutes.
Fuck Play-Doh. Okay, Zachary, you get to pick the next story.
So this one I've been wanting to talk about since it happened.
That's so funny. I have something new to add to that as well. So
this is insane. This is absolute positive. I don't know how this works. So if you're not in the news, this is not even film news. This is just plain old news in general. Was it? Yes.
You did once again. You didn't introduce what we're talking about.
I'm going to.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I don't like to just start off with. I don't like to start off.
It's Oscars what?
It says it on the screen. They see what we're talking about.
But we have audio listeners. They don't see what we're talking about.
And that's why I build up to it till they to understand.
Okay, just talk. Just go.
So the Oscars, why? So this happened about a week ago, right? About a week ago, this happened on a Monday, I believe.
I think it was
Mondays suck for everybody, including poor Rachel Zegler. So we find out. So she does this little conversation with some fans, like, "So what are you going to wear to the Oscars?" Because everybody asks about, what the ladies are going to wear to the Oscars. She's like, "My pajamas and a TV remote with my boyfriend." Like, what do you mean? Like, they didn't invite me. What do you mean? Like, that's what I mean. They didn't invite me. And so, here's my thing. West Side Story is on Disney Plus. Disney owns ABC. ABC is where they host the Oscars. All three of those should wrap around together, which also adds to why our CEO must go. It just all encompasses. And so
Zegler, it's also Snow White.
You want your Snow White there. And so there has been a whole thing about this since last week, whether or not she would be able to get to go. I still don't know whether or not she got the invitation.
Well, here we go. Are you ready? I got it. Right.
But before we get too positive, let's stay with the negative for a little bit because we need to talk about this. The Oscars are the most important film time of the year. Every year, this is where all of your stars come in and they represent their films. Rachel Zegler, I have not seen the movie yet, so I cannot really say this to a point, but Jacob can. Is Rachel Zegler, yes or no, the main star of West Side Story? Like, she is the character you're mainly focused on throughout the film. Of the ensemble, she is the one they focus on the most besides her love.
Her and Tony are definitely
but she is in that top bill part of, like, the main person you get to
she's
see
not in the top bill, but she's in the top screen time. It's
okay. So you would think that they would want their main lead at the Oscars to represent their film. Where on earth does the Oscars look at the invite list and go, okay, director of photography for, I don't know, the Spider-Man No Way Home. He's there. Oh, that's all the seats filled up. Do we miss anybody? No. No. Okay. They look through the West Side Story cast. Okay, there's Ansel Elgort. There's Anna DeBose. Did we forget Rachel Ziegler? Is that a thing here? Who do we talk to? That didn't happen though. They just wrote it off like nothing happened. And that's really, really, really. Listen, the Oscars have been through enough over the past 2 years. Like, enough is an understatement. They've been through a lot, and apparently they just wanted to add on to their shit list. No one liked the announcement of the 3 hosts. I feel bad for those 3 people. I think they're going to do a fine job with what they're given. The Oscars are also getting a lot of shit because most of the categories are going to get announced, and the winners will be announced before the Oscar ceremony happens. That's a whole other thing. But we'll leave that alone unless Jacob wants to talk about that.
No, that's fine. We can leave it alone.
Because that's, to me, is a bunch of bullshit all on its own anyway. If they're Oscars, they deserve to be there at the Oscars, but that's just me. But this is completely different. She's not nominated for anything, any acting categories, absolutely. But she is there with a Best Picture nomination. She should be there with the cast. That's all there is to it.
So,
Jacob, your thoughts?
My thoughts. This is fucking ridiculous. I completely 110% agree with everybody else in America. Like, literally, I think we all came together and been like, what the fuck? What? I didn't even know West Side Story was a thing, but what? Yeah, I think that's how everybody was.
Even your
Twitter, not.
I don't know what West Side Story is, but she should be there with her film.
But also, like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, you want a seat? I got 2 extra tickets. Here you go. You want a seat? I got 2 extra tickets. So it wasn't like they running out of capacity. So I truly got no fucking clue. So yeah, and also, by the way, if anybody's curious, if like the Oscars or anybody else made a comment on the reason why she was shunned, they did not. No comment was made. I'm sure someone got fired. I'm like 99%.
Someone's day was ruined on Monday.
Somebody was like, "Oh shit, that's what's sitting on my desk right now. Fuck you, envelope."
And the Oscar to you can get fired goes to.
So, their workaround, I think, is also just a little bit shitty, but I guess maybe not. Depends on how you look at it. Is that she has now been added as a presenter. So she'll get to go to the Oscars, she'll get to walk the red carpet, but now she is presenter, so she's going to present one of the awards. Who knows what award, but she will be presenting one of the awards.
That's even worse. So on top of her not getting nominated for an Oscar and also not being invited to the show, they're not like, we feel bad. So we're going to let you give someone else the award while you go sit down and go, okay.
But also, like, it's also kind of funny. They're like, you know what we should do? How to make this situation worse? Put her on camera in the Oscars where she can make any joke about this at all, like any point.
Listen, joke. I hope she takes advantage of her screen time and says something. I hope she does. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Guess who got invited after all? That's a great one.
On other note, that is kind of sad about the Oscars. Why? Somebody had to pull out of going to the Oscars. Did you know this, Zachary?
I did not. Who got pulled out?
Lin-Manuel Miranda will not be going to the Oscars after all.
Why?
His wife tested positive for COVID, so he and his kids remain negative, but he will not be turning out the ceremony, even though he is nominated for several Oscars. And was supposed to be performing as well.
That breaks my heart.
Which probably means that Dos Orangantes, which is the song that was nominated for Encanto, will not be performed as it is his song.
So instead, they're probably going to do "We Can't Talk About Bruno."
That was already decided because there was a huge uproar. Everybody's like, "Why the fuck we talk about Bruno?"
That's heartbreaking. Because he won't be there for Encanto, and he won't be there for Andrew for Tick Tick Boom.
And also, he's nominated for Tick Tick Boom's nominated for Best Picture. If they win, he won't be there. He
Oh
also
my
is not. If
god.
he wins, he should win for Best Song. He won't be able to accept his whatever that's called, his big award for accept. He's
Yeah.
getting a Academy Award, and so it's like all 7 that he's won
Yeah.
type of thing. So it
Which,
was
by
a
the
big
way,
night for him.
I completely agree. Best song should go to him for Encanto. That ending song breaks my heart every time I hear
It does make me cry. I agree, but
it. It's
we
so
don't
good.
talk about Bruno. Should have been the one that was nominated.
After watching, I've now seen Encanto 3 times. We don't talk about Bruno is great. It's one of the best Disney songs ever. But go with the song that pulls at your heart, and the other one definitely does it better than We Don't Talk About Bruno. It's a great poppy song, but the other
No.
one means something.
Daylight has comments, which I did not know that you can post. And an anonymous person posted, "We don't talk about Vanessa." So,
By the way, did you see the lineup about who's performing this year at the Oscars? It's insane. It's Beyonce, Billie Eilish, Reba McEntire, and now the cast of Encanto. Reba McEntire hasn't performed in almost 4 years.
who
So
cares?
that'll be something. But hey, to me, that's really, really cool. We haven't seen her sing in a while, so that'll be cool to see.
She just
Plus,
released an album.
did she? Well, good for her.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's why the Oscars did it. We'll move on.
Oscars
you pick the next one.
why? Oscar why? Oscar
See, my titles give you good songs.
why? Fuck Oscars. Fuck
Yeah.
Oscars. Fuck Oscar. Not fuck Oscar. I don't know an Oscar. Sorry, Oscars out there. Not you. You can live your life happily. All right, let's talk about this.
Okay, this is you.
So
respect all the Oscars out there. Including the one in the trash can.
honestly,
wait.
he's living my life. I'm trash. He's trash. We're basically friends. So Amelia Clark is in Secret Invasion. Oh, I would like to mention before we jump into this that this could contain slight spoilers in case you don't want to know anything going into Secret Invasion whenever it does come out. Let's maybe mute. I don't really know what to do for you people who are listening. So sorry about that. But for people who are watching, at least, it's just when it goes off the screen is when we'll stop talking about it in general. So Amelia Clark's person who was announced that possibly leaked who she'd be playing kind of came out. There's a new scooper on the scene who came from Reddit, who's now on Twitter, was the one who leaked the information, essentially, who she was playing. Brand new, had no credits or whatever to their name, but very, very much like deep into like Marvel-like sources. So the likely chance of this being true is like extremely likely. She was also in the top,
I was gonna ask who she's playing.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
This is also one of the characters that we thought she might be playing. There were a few. Abigail Brand was one of the ones that we thought she might be playing, which she didn't have green hair on set. We started to think maybe that wasn't the case, even though she has the perfect build. That's a shield agent, or I guess now sword agent. If anybody was curious, she's from the comic books. But instead,
Hydra?
no, she's actually a good guy. Not a lot of those exist in that world, but she was one of them. She's like a really like spunky like type of like person or whatever, which really does fit Amelia Clark's personality. Like it fit really well. Doesn't matter. They didn't cast for that. They casted her as the big villain, is essentially what they did. Chewie playing Veronk, or a character like Veronk. It has been since confirmed that she's gonna be playing what is his name? Oh, not Mad the Scroll, who
Ben Mendelsohn.
Thank you, Ben Mendelsohn's daughter, who we all suspected would turn evil eventually. That's who she's playing. Is essentially it. If you guys are familiar with Secret Invasion at all, Veronk is the queen of the Skrulls who decides to lead the attack on humans and to infiltrate the Avengers, do the whole 9 yards. From what I understand, this is going to be much smaller than that. This is like the prequel to like actual Secret Invasion is what
Because
I
we know we're
understand.
getting some kind of big secret invasion thing within the MCU. That's something that's going to happen.
There's going to be a movie. From what we understand, I have a feeling it's going to be like the next big Avengers movie, and so this is going to be like one of those stepping points of like you need to watch this and are prepared for this or whatever. So yeah, I
And
don't
if
know.
we and if we and if we and if we go off Kevin Feige's comments, he said the next Avengers film would be for the next probably 5 to 6 years. So if Secret Invasion says happens in either towards the end of this year or early 2023, that would mean that they're going to build the scrolls out throughout the MCU leading up to the next Avengers movie when we get to it.
Yeah, because
Which
the
I think would be
idea
a really good
would
idea to do.
be scrolls would be everywhere. It wouldn't just
Yeah.
like every movie would have a scroll somewhere in it, and actual actors and stuff like characters would be scrolls, like people that we would know. And like, is that a scroll? Like that's where the fun's gonna be, and then
Oh
they would
yeah.
actually get revealed with the movie. And so I
I
think this is
I think our first real big scroll encounter again will be in Fantastic Four. That's where I think the Skrulls will show up again, because if you are a comic book fan, and Jacob knows about him as well, there is a character called the Super Skrull who absorbs all of the Fantastic Four's powers, including invisibility, the Human Torch's ability to be on fire, the Thing's ability to be really, really strong, and Mr. Fantastic's ability to stretch. He absorbs the powers of the Fantastic Four and becomes basically like a super guard for Veronk. So I wouldn't be shocked if either A, we find out about Super Skrull showing up in Fantastic Four next year, or somewhere along that line. That's where I think we see the Skrulls after Secret Invasion next, or the Marvels, one of the two. I think this is a good cast. I think the entire Secret Invasion cast has been really, really good. Knowing that Samuel L. Jackson is working on 3 MCU projects simultaneously is kind of nuts. This being one of them. We don't know about the other 2. I think he shows up in Ant-Man as well, I believe, if I'm not
that
mistaken.
would make sense.
So, but I love Emilia Clarke. I think she's a great actress. She's done very, 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 very good in other projects. She's my favorite part of Solo. I love her in that movie a lot. Um, and so, but of all the Disney Plus MCU project, this is the one I know the least about, because I'm not. I like the Skrulls. I like them as a concept. I thought they were really cool in Captain Marvel, but it's not my forte when I go into Marvel is the Skrull stuff. So I'll be
I
learning
I
about it as much
really
as
do
they are.
believe you. I do. I actually honestly do believe that you should probably read Secret Invasion, Zachary. I think you'd really like it. It's a great comic.
Good to know.
Fucking phenomenal. You even in the context of it, it's still shocking. Like it's great.
The most I know
So
about the
yeah.
Skrulls is from Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes and their Skrulls episodes. What they did with that, which I thought
Oh,
was really
okay.
cool.
Okay. Well, that's all my I think it's really cool. I've been suspecting this for a long time.
Hmm.
So I think
That's always been my
to me it's
hunch
not
with
it's been
her,
my
is who
hunch.
she was going to be.
So yeah, no, I think it's fine.
But this, but
All
this,
right.
but this makes you wonder how long is it? Oh wait, the last time we saw her was in the 1990s, so she would be older than at this point, right?
She would be much older. Yeah, she's gonna be around the same age as
Kara,
oh not Monica. Her daughter, Maria.
Maria.
Or Monica. Or
Yeah, no, it'd
Maria's
be
the mom,
Monica.
Monica's daughter. Yeah. It's gonna be
Yeah.
around the same age as Monica as she's gonna be.
Is Monica's suggested to show up in the show, or do we know?
There are supposed to be some big cameos, yeah, but not super huge, like really low because it's gonna be like a really small
Well, the
one.
reason I bring
But
up
there could be
Monica
the fact
because
that she could pop up in
the Marvels.
yeah, she could pop up in Captain Marvel. Like that's very possible that Emilia Clarke. Because also a rumor that came out is that she signed on to it's like a 6-picture deal with Marvel to play this
Which
character. So she's
that's
supposed to be
nuts.
popping up in quite a few other things. So, but we don't know if that's true. Her
How
contract
nuts
didn't
would it
officially.
be? How nuts would that be if Emilia Clarke is the next big bad of the MCU?
Hey, good for
Like,
her.
good for
That's
her.
how you. That's how you rebound.
Yeah, you aren't kidding. But no, the reason I bring up Monica was because the last time we saw Monica, she was talking to a Skrull at the end of WandaVision.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So that's
Yeah,
why
and we
with my
still, which she could show up in this. Nothing's been confirmed. I know the next movie she'll show up in, but that's about it.
yeah, which is the Marvels.
No, It's something closer.
Monica's next thing is
It
the Marvels.
it's something closer. I'm not gonna
Probably
spoil it,
Miss
but
Marvel.
I'm not gonna spoil it. But it's closer than the Marvels. Either way,
Uh,
Zachary, now it's your turn. Pick a store, any store, whatever store you
so
like.
let's have a let's do it. I like you pick the formal ones. I like to pick the fun ones.
You also know
So
more information about this, so I probably will
yeah.
stay in the back of the conversation.
So okay. So earlier this week, fans were fans in the UK were able to see Morbius a little bit early, and they were coming out of these screenings. And let me tell you, people, it's not good. It's not good at all. They were talking about how bad the CGI is, how poor the editing is, but the thing they continuously hampered on were the two post-credit scenes. They said they are two of the worst post-credit scenes on planet Earth. They said they are just tremendously bad and it makes the film even more confusing. But that's not even the biggest story about this movie. So, Jacob, when these trailers came out for Morbius, what were the things that stood out the most about the trailers? Besides Morbius, what were the things that stood out to you in general?
Oh, it would be. Oh, before we talk about what he's about to talk about, I do want to mention that in case you are excited to see Morbius, this could also contain like spoilers, because I
Yes.
do believe that these things that we're
Unfortunately,
talking
yes,
about
it will.
would be
Yeah.
spoilers.
Yeah. Yeah. It
So,
will. It will.
just want anybody who wants to pop out can pop out
Yeah.
before
Yeah. This. Yeah. If you don't want to know anything about this movie, then I would suggest you leave because there are things that we have to talk about within this whole nightmare of PR that they're putting themselves through. It's just it needs to be discussed because I'm very, very disappointed in how Sony is treating the PR moves for this film when looking at how they did so well with the PR moves for Spider-Man No Way Home and how it just how it looks like it's two different studios working on projects. It's insane how bad this is. So, but Jacob, what were the things that stood out to you the most in the Morbius trailers
I just
besides
had
Morbius?
I had a lot of questions about Spider Verse stuff because they were throwing in a lot of Easter eggs.
Well, Jacob, let me tell you, oh, that's a bunch of bullshit. During these fan screenings, everybody who has come out and now the press has also seen the movie as well. Um, we now know that all the Easter eggs, including the Oscorp building, the Spider-Man murder poster, and the volume of Adrian Toombs' appearance in the film, has all been all of it. There is no lengthy connection to any further Spider-Verse stuff. That tag at the end of the final trailer when he goes, "I'm Venom." I'm just kidding. It's Michael Morbius. Not in the movie. None of it. Apparently, it's all been cut. And there are two reasons. There are two reasons why. Reason number one, they realized how bad of a movie this is, and they don't want it anywhere near their Spider Verse at all, anywhere near it. Reason number two, they got scared. Now, the reason I'm more upset about this than I should be is because they've had 3 years to work on this movie to get it where it needs to be before release. This was
They could
stuff
have
they didn't
decided it
have
was a
to.
bad movie and then
Yes,
just pulled the plug and be like, it's just gonna sit there instead of
exactly.
spending more money on it.
But instead they continue to push it. And Jared Leto recently, probably within the last week, did a behind the scenes thing for Morbius saying, "Oh man, I can't wait for you guys to all see all the interconnectivity stuff, all the great Spider-Man Easter eggs. I can't wait for you guys to see how we all connect within the MCU." Why let them put him out that? Why let it put out? Why? And but here is the other kicker to all this. The director recently did an interview with Cinema Blend, and he was asked a bunch of questions about this movie and how the PR people did not look at this man and go, "Listen, what you are saying is bad. Do not tell anybody this. Just just keep your mouth shut." But he didn't. He was asked about certain things. Will we see a Spider-Man in this movie? We now know the answer is no. There will be no Spider-Man in this movie at all. Post-credit scene, nothing. There will be no future Spider-Man in this movie. He was also asked, how is Adrian Toombs in this film? And we now know how that happens. I won't tell that. Jacob, if you want to know afterwards, I will tell you, but that's the one thing I will keep secret. I now know why Adrian is in this movie. When you think about it, it makes sense, but it's also confusing as well because he's acting very differently than he does in another thing. That's all I will say. They also asked if this is in the same universe as Venom. That was also confirmed that takes place within the same movie universe as Venom, because originally reports were coming out that Morbius was going to be in its own universe separate from Venom, while mentioning Venom as well. It's weird. It's a whole mess. And so the more I hear about this movie, the least I get excited about it. Knowing all of this stuff now, Jacob, where are you at within your expectations for this film, and how do you feel about as our title says, the living PR nightmare that's been for this movie so far?
I mean, I could have told you. I think is where I stand with this movie. I muted you on my side because you were giving way too much shit, and I didn't want to know. So most of your conversation, the whole spiel you just went on, I basically did not hear like a lick of it because you were just like spoiling nonstop. So, and I'm gonna go see the movie, so I don't want the whole thing spoiled for me in this conversation.
I didn't
And
spoil a lot.
well, you spoiled enough for me to be like, "Yep, he can talk. I'm just gonna peace out." So I don't really know what you said. That's okay. You got really excited about it. This is what you do. I knew it was coming. That's why I got my hand in any volume here, right here. So I can mute you. I should have probably just muted you overall, but like I thought I was like, that's not funny. He feels passionate. Let him be passionate. Let him do his thing.
I am, because when you look at the PR moves for Spider-Man No Way Home and how well that went over with everybody, and then looking at this, it's just, I have to wonder what happened. Like, did they look at the final product before it went to fan screenings and go, wow, we really screwed up
Well,
here?
from what I understand, and I just did a little bit of research as I was curious. I had not seen anything. I've not been on Twitter or anything like that. And the most things I've seen is that people are really mad that people are saying anything about Morbius as it is, because the actual reviews for the movie don't drop until Wednesday evening at it's like 11 a.m. like at 11 p.m. or something like that is when they drop. And so a lot of people are mad that Twitter embargo was so early. Like it was a whole thing. That was like the most I've seen about this movie, is that people are mad. People are talking about it, is essentially what I've seen. Because a lot of people, just like Zachary, have been saying what's not in the movie, and a lot of people didn't want to know. That's supposed.
But
I mean,
the other
I think I would like it's a little bit different than what they're advertising.
right, but that's my problem with it. Go on, sorry.
But from what I understand, a lot of people are blaming this on the screenwriter. A big part of this is supposedly that's where a lot of the fault I think is going to handle down to is the screenwriter. For instance, other movies he's worked on is the Lost Kingdom, the one with Vin Diesel. I don't remember what that's called, where he is like a bounty hunter, the last witch hunter or something like that.
Yeah,
that was like the last movie he wrote. So I do have to question who decided that was a good idea for someone who wrote that to write Morbius, for sure. And so a lot of people are bringing this down onto the screenwriter, because the biggest thing I saw was it's very disjointed. The story is very incoherent. And like Zachary's been saying as well, the CGI sucks, is essentially what it is. Which is really shocking, because Sony tends to have some good CGI, but I do have to kind of agree. I do wonder, and I'm wondering if this is true, is if they just pulled it out. They're like, this is going to be a clunker. This is going to be like real shit. I feel like if it got released in January, originally planned in January, and
it'd be fine.
When people were really high on the trailer that came out for Spider-Man, to get excited for Morbius, I think it maybe would have done well. Now, I don't think so. I think it's just going to be a very soft opening. I don't really think a lot of people are going to show up. People could go see this to see if it's actually as bad as people are saying it is. That's happened before. And it doesn't have like a post-credit scene or end-credit scene, because a lot of people also on the internet, just like Zachary said, they're really bad and they're really confusing for the Spider-Verse overall. which is really interesting. So that makes me a little curious inside. But part of the reason why Venom did so well opening weekend was because of the end credit scene, Venom
Yeah.
2. Like, sure, you can say what you want about the movie if you liked it or if you didn't, but it objectively made $90 million because one, kids love Venom. Moral story: it's a kids movie, and which
Hmm.
is just
It's a
it's
great
very
kids
funny.
movie.
I think that's a bit pushing it, but okay. And then two, it had one of those post credits scenes that you thought you needed to go see in theaters. Like it was like one of
Hmm.
those moments. And then people were like, I need to see that again. And then again, and then again, and so forth and so forth. Morbius doesn't have any of this. I could have told you this from trailer number one. I did tell you this when we talked about all those years ago. I was like, hey, you know what shit? What? Morbius. Why? It feels like a 2006 vampire film that no one saw in 2006, let alone 20. I think it's supposed to come out in 2020. 2020.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, like, if it wasn't going to do well then, it's not going to do well now. And that's just how I feel about it still.
It's just if you, I don't
This
know.
feels like
It's
Sony's. I like Resident Evil. I like Resident Evil. But this feels like when
hmm
Sony was like promoting Resident Evil and they're like, oh, we have this amazing B movie. Let's promote the shit out of this, like with number like 4 or 5 or whatever it was. And we'll try to sell it. And it did pretty well in its defense, but it also had bigger stars that people liked more in that movie. And um this feels like that. This feels like one of those B movies that Sony puts out every once in a while, normally in January, and they see how it goes, and then they move on with life.
the other thing
So,
that doesn't help this movie is its release date. Everybody's gonna think the movie is a joke. On top of it being, if it's bad, April Fools. I don't
maybe
know.
it's
It's
so
just
bad that it like makes itself the joke.
I don't know. It just
Maybe the PR
it
team comes around and been like, "Ha, you like that version?" For you, whatever. That'd be really funny.
I don't know. It rubs me the wrong way about the advertisement for the movie. That's what I think that's what aggravated me the most is that they've been falsely. Now, granted, I haven't seen the movie yet, but if I'm going off of what people have been saying, they are falsely advertising this film as in one way when in reality it's a whole other thing. Because the final trailer that came out from this movie was primarily voiced over by Michael Keaton. Primarily voiced over by Michael Keaton.
Yeah, but you also have to remember, and I think this is something to be very, I think this is very important to remember when going into Morbius at all. One, they've had to advertise this movie for like 2 years, which means that they're advertising in ways to try to keep it relevant at all because it's going into not being relevant anymore. Like the movie itself is, it's basically not relevant. This way people are talking about it. I mean, it has that going for it. People are talking about it. News stories are picking up the fact that people are hating it, and that is clicks. That's good. That will look good for Morbius in the long run when they're trying to market it later on. But I think that has a lot to do with the final trailer or the subsequent like 3 trailers before that. Is the fact that they had to figure out new ways to market it, and so they're like, "Ooh, Spider-Man's coming out. Let's do a heavy Spider-Man reference trailer to get people excited for it, and then we can just build off the hype of Spider-Man." The problem with that, exactly what Zachary's saying, is the fact that it's not really there. Michael Toon's being really heavily involved in the trailer never once
Michael
shocked
Tubes.
me. It never once shocked
No,
me or
you're
anything
wrong.
like
It's
that.
Adrian Keaton.
Whatever.
Adrian Keaton.
And never once shocked me, and I was never mad. I knew he had a small role in the movie. I never once thought he didn't have a small role in the movie. Even him narrating it, never once I thought he had small. Never once I thought he had a big role in the movie, and things like that. Because if he had a bigger role in the movie, he would be much more prevalent in the advertisement campaign, other than the final trailer, where they're fishing for new footage to show you, fishing for new things to be like, get excited about. They fish for Michael Keaton. That's what the final trailer was, is them fishing for references that could keep in the movie, which I think ended up actually going to end up hurting it for sure. Like, I agree with you, but I think we have to look at it from like a PR standpoint. They were trying to do the best they can. It just
Hence
ended up
why the title.
backfiring. Yeah.
that's that. That's Morbius living PR nightmare. We'll see how this ends up when it drops April 1st. I don't think it's gonna do. I think it's gonna. I hate saying this. I think it's gonna do financially well simply because I hate watch. Like, I think that opening weekend is just going to be people going out and going, "Is this as bad as I think it is?" And I will not be a part of it. I think this will be the first movie I sit out
I
on. I'm more excited for Sonic and the Northman
I'll
in
go see
April,
it.
but it's different. You can make the time to go watch this movie. If I don't want to make the time, I won't make the time. And I got to put my time towards films I know I'm genuinely excited about, which are Sonic and the Northman.
Alrighty, moving forward, we're gonna talk down here to this one.
Avatar: The Multiverse of Madness.
See, he gets excited and tells you what it is before I can even talk when I chose the story, but he gets all mad when I jump in and tell the story title. Is it fair? Is it fair? They all paint him like a hero, but when I do it, I'm the villain. Okay, now it's just complete silence awkwardness because Zachary wouldn't actually clap for the camera. So here, now it's too late. It's too late. You fucked up.
Jacob, what'd you click
It's
on?
like, it's like I told a joke to a comedy club and they're like, yeah, let's move on. You know what I mean? So either way, so I clicked on the Avatar 2. Its trailer is supposedly being exclusively debuting in front of um Doctor Strange 2 in the Multiverse of Madness, or Doctor Strange 2 because it's shorter and I like it better because it's shorter. That's it. That's literally the news story. Is that like it's rumored and probably is true that it's going to debut
What are you expecting
exclusively in
from this?
front.
What are you expecting? What's your of the two of us? One person's more excited about this film over the other, and I can tell you, it's the guy
Wow,
over
Zachary,
over here.
I can't believe you're so excited about it. I'm your light.
Oh,
I can't believe I'm a light.
right there. He's
That's
more
yeah.
excited for
There we
Avatar than I
go.
am. What are you hoping to see in this
Um,
teaser?
I'm hoping to get excited about Avatar 2. I mean, I am excited about Avatar 2, but I'm hoping to get re-excited about not with the idea of getting a sequel, but actually being like excited for the sequel. I'm also hoping that it has amazements in advancement technology, as that's part of the reason why the first one did so well. So I'm expecting something along those lines. I'm also expecting some underwater extravaganza. You know what I mean? And if it doesn't deliver on any of those counts, well then fuck. Oh shit. Okay, James, we've been doing it for like 14 years.
Like, seriously.
This is the second one. I know you've been filming all five, so really, what you been doing? This is number two. You did this really early on. So yeah,
As
that's
a
basically.
non-Avatar fan, I don't hate this movie. I don't hate this movie.
You
I don't
really
like
act
it.
like you do.
I don't hate this movie. I don't like it though. But I will not say that this film did things for the movie industry that ultimately changed things to where we are today. And I can always respect a film that does that. And I respect James Cameron as a director. He's one of the top three best directors of all time. He's directed two of his films are in the top three best of all time box office wise. I mean, you can't argue with money. He
That is
does well
true.
with
Yeah, that's
he does well with the money, and he's done the best sequels to any franchises ever. He's done Aliens and he did T2. You can't argue that either. You just can't. And
huh.
so
Never mind.
you know
I feel like it's gonna be a fine time. Never mind. No worries. The story's pointless. It's gonna be great.
that
There we go.
see, as long as the CGI looks good, then I'll put my feelings aside and go, wow, look at this beauty in front of me, because he's probably going to rip off another story. So there we go. That's how I feel.
Whatever. I personally feel that this is going to do awful business at the box office. Zachary always laughs at me when I say this, but I think he has to once again
No, I'm
remember.
laughing because I agree with you, and I hate saying that.
Yeah, it's going to
There's a
do
reason.
awful business.
There's a reason why a certain fish guy moved from December to March. There's a reason why, and then fortunately put a guy who shoots lightning out of his fingers to go against the fish guy. But Shazam, you're probably gonna be the better movie of the two, but you're not gonna do box office better
Hey,
than the other one.
you know what? Maybe they're equally the same. Why put two movies up against one another? Because
Because
they're
I
from
know one's gonna be
opposing
better.
studios.
No, because I
Because
know one's gonna be
you
better.
Wow, that's just really mean. That's really rude. Avatar
That's just
2
how I
could be your
feel.
new. Here's the thing. Avatar 2, Zachary, you have no idea, could be your next favorite movie of all time. You don't know. You've
Listen,
not seen it yet, and yet you're.
it has a high bar. It has to beat the Batman. It has to beat the Batman.
What I'm trying. That's what I mean. You never know. Avatar 2 is coming in at the end. It's like one of the 5 movies of the year. It could pop up and be like, "Pooh! What the fuck was that?" You never know. Or it could just be like a medium ride. And once again, James Cameron, what are you doing?
What were you doing?
What are you doing?
That should have been entitled this Avatar, James Cameron. What are you doing?
So, anyway, that's Avatar. Yeah, plot story. Zachary.
Let's do a smaller story. You know, Ant-Man got smaller, and apparently so did his cast. Michael Pena and Del Smolchin are not returning from Ant-Man the Wasp and Quantumania. This is a story where people are upset about them not returning. I understand why. This movie has a lot to do. It has to deal with Quantumania, Kang the Conqueror. You know, they're mainly going to focus on, Ant-Man, Wasp, Janet, and not Scott, Hank. They're going to focus on the main four dealing with Kang the Conqueror. So I don't think we'll be in the actual real world at all, primarily in the movie. We'll be dealing more with the quantum realm. I don't think Michael Pena would join on that ride because, he's just there to, give you a giant blurb text what's going on. We won't need that. We'll see it. Dusmulchin has got enough going on his plate right now anyway, so I understand why. Probably I'm guessing scheduling reasons he couldn't probably do Ant-Man 3. But I think they'll obviously probably get mentioned in the movie. You just won't see them. But that's how I feel about that. Jacob, how do you feel about Ant-Man's cast getting smaller?
So, Dismulchin someone asked him if he was going to be a part of it, essentially is how this broke. And this is what he said. It doesn't look like it, but that's okay. So he doesn't even know if he's going to be a part of it or not. That's where he's at. I know they're making something incredible. I can't wait to see what Peyton does next. He's one of my favorite directors. He's been so busy. I try to stay in touch, but he's making an incredible film right now. So he could be in it. It could just be for
A short second.
a short second. And yeah, I don't know. Here's the thing. I'm excited no matter what. I think they're funny. I think it's a good time. I think they're probably one of the better parts of Ant-Man and the Wasp. What a horrible movie that was. And so I think, is it sad? Sure, but Zachary's right. They have a lot of things they're doing here. King is going to be a very big villain in the MCU, and this is where they're truly introducing him, like truly introducing him to what he can be and what he's going to be. So, like, it has enough on its plate. It's also introducing the adult Cassie Lang, and that's going to be controversial as it is. So, I think a lot of people are over that situation. I think a lot of people are over that situation due to the outpour of love for both actresses and how they had a conversation about it and stuff. But still, this movie's already been under some kind of haywire and stuff. So I think this is probably, it makes sense. I agree with you. It's getting really crowded. You can't just keep friends along for the ride if there is no room for that ride to be along.
Don't bring them along for the ride if they have no reason to be there, because otherwise they're just in the way of the story moving forward. They be there for stupid jokes, and that's what I don't want.
Yeah, and a lot of people get really mad about it because it's supposed to be doing something, and then you're sitting there like, why am I still hearing you go on this like conversation when you could be doing something else?
Exactly.
So if you take them out completely, then you can't have that situation.
My biggest problem would have been like, say they're in the movie, both of them are his trio are. While they're in the Quantumania, we cut back to them doing something stupid in the real world. We don't want to deal with that. We want to stay in the quantum realm and deal with what's going on with Kang. We don't want to, split the movie in half. Like, focus on what you're focusing on. But I appreciate the fact that Peyton saw that and realized he didn't want to like the comedy is going to be there, but he doesn't want to over comedy the movie like he did with Ant-Man and the Wasp. I think that was Ant-Man and the Wasp's biggest problem, was that was trying to be an over funny film when in reality it needed to tone its comedy down significantly. That's my biggest problem with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, is that they try to over comedy the movie when it didn't need to be over comedy.
And anybody who's curious, because there are two of his friends, he does have a third name, a third friend named Dave. He will not be a part of it because he is currently under. He is going to jail as we speak right now,
Yeah.
so he won't be a part of it
So
due to
yeah.
other
Anyway,
reasons that are not a part of this. But just to give you a heads up, so maybe that's also the reason why bring back two of them? You can't bring back the
you
whole
can have all
trio
three. But
type of thing. Who
that would be
knows?
a simple recast though. Like that wouldn't stop him from doing that. They could easily recast him and no one would say a
No,
word.
I don't think they would recast him. This is Marvel. I think we're past recasting by this point. Sorry, it's a joke because Ant-Man 3 obviously recasted, but that's besides the point. Okay, let's move on.
That was a bad joke.
Zachary. Yeah. Yeah. All right. I was waiting for Zachary to introduce the story, but I'm going to introduce it myself instead.
We're not talking about Jared Leto.
No. We are oh, what is his name? I keep forgetting.
Very cute.
Thank you. He's quite cute. They did. You would never know if you just watched the clip.
It's true.
I'm gonna look up some pictures. I personally feel like when we're discussing this, is we can talk about the deleted scene for sure. We've already talked about the deleted scene pretty in lengthy, so I kind of just want to talk about the Joker, like what he looks like, how we feel about it, that type of thing.
Since you tell me this, Jacob, what are we talking about here? All you did was laugh.
Right.
All you did was laugh.
I figured that was good.
You really didn't say.
I actually personally thought that was good enough. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, yeah, that did trick. But Zachary's right. We are talking about Batman, the new Batman movie. This has no spoilers for the new Batman movie, so don't worry. Well, I guess a tiny spoiler if you didn't know he was a part of it,
really,
but
it
doesn't really
if you haven't
affect
seen
it.
the movie, it doesn't hurt your enjoyment of the film. Like it doesn't really. It's completely out of context.
Yeah, it's fine. You're gonna be okay. I promise. We're talking about the Joker deleted scene that was released where he goes in to interrogate Joker to help him solve a part of the movie. And that's all we'll say about the actual context of the scene. So the jokes there were really funny and things like that. But once again, that scene is online. How they presented it was also really cool using the website.
Riddles.
I thought that was really, really cool and stuff. So yeah, things like that. But I really want
hard.
I really personally, yeah, I had heard they really hard. I personally want
to earn this scene.
Want to talk about, yeah. That's what I want to talk about. So, maybe I don't like teeth. Maybe this is the issue. I don't know. There's something about this that it doesn't rub. So, me and Zach were having an interesting conversation on the phone earlier. And I had brought up the fact that when Joker stapled a new face to his face, I still found him attractive. And I just submitted that to the internet. Why did I do that? I'm not really sure. It's fine.
Yes, you did.
Whatever.
That's something that just happened here. Yeah, that's the truth.
I say weird shit on the internet. It's okay. Not a big deal for me. I don't find him attractive, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I am a little bit over romancing Joker, so this is a great way to stop that. Which is so funny because so many people find the actor who plays him extremely attractive, which is the reason why Eternals got so huge, over when it got on Disney Plus or whatever, was because of him and people like lusting over him. So I do find it kind of funny in a way, but whatever. I think he looks really cool.
Joker got the
Do I feel like he went through a meat grinder? Do I think? What?
Nothing.
What?
Go on.
Okay. I think that he went through the meat grinder? Yes, I do. Personally, I feel like they just but also I think the makeup is really cool. I think they did a good job. I'm not this is all props to the makeup team because they did a phenomenal job.
And I can't see the actor.
I can. That image right there, I totally see him. That image right there, totally see him. If you're audible, there's an image of his face from a faded. You can totally see him. Up close, it gets a little bit more questionable, that's for sure. He also changed his voice. He did a lot of things to embody this role, which is really cool for having such a short scene and things. And yeah, for future iterations of the Joker, if we're going to talk about that as well, I do wish it's something like this in the future. It doesn't have to be them like interrogating one another or whatever.
Yeah,
But I was thinking more on the lines of like what we talked about, like Batman Long Halloween, where he shows up for 10 minutes, has an amazing sequence. You're like, oh my god, and then he like disappears. But you have to make sure the movie can hold up to those 10 minutes if you're going to do that, though,
exactly.
which is
It's
a little
it's
nerve
it's it,
wracking.
it's different to do that with an animated movie because that
Say right,
that that
okay.
scene can go as wacky as it wants to because it's animated. If you do that scene with this Joker, it has to the film, like you said, it has to be able to regain its momentum after the scene's over. Because say the scene stands out so much the rest of the film just kind of sets par,
Yeah.
then there was no point in doing the scene. So we do know a little more details about his about him. So the reason he has all the wrinkles in his cheeks is because he has a disease that constantly makes him smile. He cannot stop smiling. And he was born with this disease. And when when something happens between him and Batman, it causes his disease to increase and go faster and faster, and ultimately that's what causes his face to deform. He
I don't really like this idea.
I love this idea
I actually kind of hate this
because
idea.
it
So
just it I love it simply because it's different. It's something that they haven't done with the Joker before. Now, I have heard people say that, wow, he just feels like a ripoff of Heath Ledger. He is not a ripoff of Heath Ledger at all. He is his own Joker. He feels like his own Joker. He doesn't feel like anybody else we've seen before. And to other people's points, yes, has it been almost 2 years since Joker? Yes, it has. And since then, did we really need to have another one right now? No, we didn't. And
but you know what? I think this is a great conversation to have. Just like we were talking with like Morbius, a lot of people, I agree with them, don't really understand why that movie got made to begin with. Just like Craven the Hunter and stuff,
Madam Web,
Venom, Madam Web. Like you can't do these movies without Spider-Man, yet they're gonna try to do these movies without Spider-Man. Possibly. I have a few theories of who Sydney's playing. All very excited about, but do have a few theories that could be Spider-Man related, adjacent in that regard. But I don't think you could have Batman without Joker.
yeah, it's really hard to do it. But I love the fact that first off, whether you like the scene or not, it's beautifully shot. It's absolutely a gorgeous scene to watch, and their constant back and forth. And then I love the slow buildup of the reveal of his face. I think directing wise and cinematography, it feels like the movie. It feels like I'm watching just a scene from the film. And kudos to them because it doesn't. This scene does not feel like a deleted scene. Like I kept telling my brother earlier, it feels like a short film. Like this is like Barry Keown's short film preview of his Joker. And if that's the case, bravo, because it's a great 5 minute scene. But this did not need to be in the movie at all, because it diminishes some of the aspects of the film, and ultimately, I think it would have hurt the film in the end. Now, would it add more to a certain scene later down the line in the movie? Absolutely, but you don't want to cause any more. I don't know how to say it. It's just this scene would have, I think, brought the tone down a little bit too, because he feels so different from the rest of the movie. Like
I don't agree with that. I think Batman feels really different from the rest of the movie, but I
he
don't
feel
think.
right, he feels out of place. Like we've seen the movie, so we know how this Batman will react to certain things, and the way he reacts to him is very very off key. Now that could be a character thing, and that Batman is just clearly uncomfortable with this guy, and that's how he feels, and that's how he
Yeah,
acts
it
around him.
just I still feel like
It
it's
stood
really.
out because of the movie, yeah. That does not mean I do not want to see this again. I want to see Barry Keoghan continue in this role. I think he is establishing himself very well. There is a good chance they can continue to use Barry Keoghan as the Joker in the Arkham series coming up on HBO Max. I think this is a great place to put him. I think this would be a great way to continue to establish his character within this version of Batman without holding the films over it as well. because I don't want to see him in the Batman 2. I think the Batman 2 should stand alone about Mr. Freeze. I think if Mr. Freeze
No,
is the
I
villain,
do want him in the Batman.
I don't, because what we talked about about this scene, I think would affect the Batman too. Like, say Batman goes to Joker to talk about Mr. Freeze. Do you want Batman feeling dumb after
No,
finding out
I
that
just
Joker?
told you how I would want him to be. I don't want another scene like this. But that does not mean I don't want him in the sequel. I think it would be really stupid for him not to be in the sequel.
The only reason I don't, the only reason I don't want him to be in there is simply because whenever Joker shows up in any shape, way, or form or capacity within a Batman project, 9 times out of 10 he ultimately steals the show from the project. We keep talking about the Long Halloween Part 1. What do you remember most about that
Yeah,
movie?
but that's not his fault. That's not his fault.
No, it's not. No, it's not his fault at all. But I don't want the film to be hurt by his presence. What I think the Batman did so well was that this film didn't rely on, him being there. There was no real need for him to be there.
But like I said, I think they kind of did in a way because I still very much strong. My one problem with it is that Riddler himself. And this is not a Batman review. We talked about
No.
Batman. This is not a Batman review. But
We'll
either
be doing a
way, I
Batman
think he
review.
should
We
be
just
in
don't know
there.
when.
Yeah, our lives are just really chaotic right now.
Yeah. We'll find
But
the time. Don't
well,
worry.
it will come out in April at some point before we do Doctor Strange too, for sure. It'll be it'll probably be like we'll probably skip a week of a podcast or something, or like a movie commentary or something along
Yeah.
those lines. So
Which also, by
either
the
way,
way, there will be a Batman movie commentary in April, some way, shape, or form that month, because of it
maybe
being on HBO
maybe
Max.
not.
Well, I
Oh, I was
thoroughly
thinking of
enjoy.
canceling my subscription in April for.
Ha 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 ha. But no, I didn't see this coming. I play all the riddles. I didn't watch the video though. When after I was done, I was like, no, I want to. Cause I didn't think it was real. I was like, this is just another riddle thing that Riddler was doing. Nope, it's a real thing. And kudos to Warner Brothers for letting Matt Reeves put it out. That's something they could have held for another month if they wanted
Well,
to.
I see. Here's the thing. I think what happened is the box office for the Batman is good. I'm not saying it's not good because that would be I would be lying to you, but there's still a good chance it probably won't reach $1 billion because it's not doing particularly well overseas, and it's open in every country that's going to open in. Normally, we do talk about the box office, but we can do it just really quickly. I have a feeling they're trying to figure out a way for people to go back to see the Batman again because new movies are coming out. A lot of people want to see the Lost City. Um, it was it's not a huge movie, but it could be huh?
Because of all the movies
What?
coming out, they want to make sure Batman can still make money.
Yeah, they want him to be able to do as well as possible. And so, how to do that is you release a scene like this that could possibly generate more cash. People get really excited about it, be like, oh my God. Or people who have been on the fence about the Batman could be like, oh, I want to go see the Batman now because that scene was so cool, or whatever it might be. Even though, like, 'cause it's still in context of the film and stuff.
Right.
And so, I think that's the reason why it got released because they were starting to get a little bit nervous. There was a huge uptick, though, looking at this stuff when the scene got released on Tuesday. There was an uptick in
I don't think they
sales.
should be worried because right now it's at $300 million domestically and $600 million right now, I believe, overall. Which
Yeah, it's 617 overall. But once again, this was a movie that was expected to make $1 billion, which is the reason
I
why
don't
I
think
think
it
they're
was
getting
expected.
it was expected
I don't
for
think
sure.
so.
Yeah, it was.
But it doesn't need
But
to hit it though. This movie is a
uh,
success.
this is not that conversation. I'm just saying the reason why this got released was basically a last minute PR stunt. It worked. It we'll see if it did, we'll see what it does for it and things. We both agree the reason why this movie is not doing better, it still did well. I'm not taking away from that, But the only reason why it's not doing better is because people do know when it's coming on HBO Max. And I know a lot of my friends who are like really excited for the movie are like, I'm just gonna wait till I can watch it at home because they know the date of when it's coming to HBO Max. So why not wait the 45 days? We are conditioned to, because of the pandemic, to wait the days, until the movie comes out on like some streaming platform. So next time HBO, tell people, you're like,
Yeah,
some movies are going to be on HBO Max in 45 days and some movies are not. Do that route instead. I think that's a much better route than just being like, hey, it's going to be on there. Get
I
excited. I
just
get
don't
it.
want to.
You need subscribers.
I just don't want to take away from the success
But
that it's having right now. That's all. I don't want to. I'm. I still think it did well enough. It's already
well,
outpaced.
I
Sorry.
no, you're okay. I this was not the conversation about the box office. I'm a realist. I'm going to tell it how it is, and that's all it is. But it doesn't, you know.
It's still
By the way,
it's still
that's okay.
it's still a win for Warner Brothers. That's all we have to say. It's still a win for Warner Brothers.
Yes, sure.
All right, let's move on to the next topic.
Okay. Okay. What's the next topic, Zachary?
Uh, let's go ahead and get this one out of the way too. So the CEO that needs to go. So we've been, I think me and Jacob can solidly say we've been trying to stay away from this story since it's been going on. We've talked a little bit about this involving Bob Chapek when the Scarlett Johansson stuff was going down earlier last year. But primarily we've stayed away from it. But some certain realistic things like human things have happened over the past month, and there's no way to get around it. And I don't want to be political on this show. I don't. But when your CEO decides to make his company a political aspect within the state that his that he primarily makes money out of, it's kind of hard not to. So when Big Papa Iger left Disney, we were all wondering, so what's Disney going to look like afterwards? Now, I have to reiterate this. Bob Chapek came into this company at a very terrible time. He came in right as the pandemic was starting. He had to deal with all the repercussions of all that going on, movies being shelved. Disney Plus was still brand-ish new at the time. And so, he had a lot coming in on his plate. He had a lot. And so keep in mind also that this man was mainly running theme parks for Disney. He really wasn't in on what was going on mainly within the Disney company. And so we now know that him and Bob Iger barely spoke, which kind of to me understands why Chapek's acting the way he is. They also recently just canceled a investors retreat because they have to stay in Disney and put out the fires he's currently set up on fire at the company. And from the Scarlett Johansson debacle to how he treated Shang-Chi last year to how he ultimately has let Pixar know, hey, we don't like you at all. Goodbye. With how bad they have treated Pixar up to this point with releasing all of their films. Minus Soul. Soul is the outlet of here because Soul was coming out during the pandemic. I understood why they put it on Disney Plus. But Luca and Turning Red should have been the theaters thing. No one knows why. Turning Red especially should have been in theaters. But instead Chapek was like, nah, just put Pixar back on Disney Plus, it's fine. And, now Kevin Feige's like, if this keeps going, I need to look for somewhere else to go in a couple of years. Which is crazy to say because that never came an issue. Like, we never heard issues of Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, anything when Iger was in chair. Now, I also have to keep in mind that Bob Chapek's only been CEO for about a year and a half. Well, actually, no, 2 years. He's been CEO for 2 years. His contract expires on February 2023. That's when his contract is up with Disney. And as a personal Disney fan, that I love Disney so much, and I hate the fact that I'm seeing them going through what they're going through, he needs to go. Just there's all there is to it. The man clearly is not a leader. He doesn't know how to lead. He doesn't know how to, you know, continue on with, circumstances. He was a terrible CEO during the Scarlett Johansson thing. Terrible. He didn't know how to use it, how to plan it. But I can't speak on the other stuff. Jacob can more so than I can because I'm not in this community. Jacob, how do you feel about what's going on with Disney at the current moment?
Well, at the current moment, I I'm a mixed bag. To be fair, I don't really want to talk truly what it's about. This is not a political show, like I said. Like Zachary has said before, we're gonna dance around it or anything like that. But I don't really want to talk about why this is going on. What the big deal about this is. If anybody is curious or whatever, he said a very interesting thing in an investors meeting, an investors call that was really really bad. It was Shang-Chi bad. Like it was
So
bad.
bad so that there have been walkouts of
There
Disney
has been
currently at the moment.
yes, there are several lockouts of LGBT community members, and then also like Zachary had mentioned, because of Florida being such a big pusher for all this, they are moving a lot of their bigger divisions over to Florida because it's cheaper. That's basically the big reason why this is happening, is because it's cheaper. And a lot of people who are a part of the LGBT community that has families that are part of the LGBT community are going to Florida, who are being forced to move to Florida against their will because they want a job, because they have to keep their job. And if you want to keep a job, you have to move with the company type of thing, which is where a lot of this stuff is coming from, and that's like a lot of what's coming from and things. Part of the reason why you're seeing every division come out and say they're against the bill that is going on is because of this. I don't think that would
Hmm.
be a thing because I find it very interesting that first it was like Disney proper, and then it
And
was
then Marvel
Pixar,
did it.
and then Marvel did it, and then
And then Star Wars.
like
Yeah.
every like individual companies doing it in Disney, and it's only because of how badly he fucked up,
Hmm.
and he tried to do an apology for it and type of thing, but you can't go back, and this is not the first time
So how have you
he did
felt about
it.
Chapek overall so far
I haven't like
in his run?
I didn't like him. I didn't like it when they announced him. He was a horrible, like he got money in, which is the reason why they chose him for CEO of Disney, is because with the theme parks, he got money in. But from what everybody has said who's ever worked underneath him, just like they're saying now, he was the same exact guy when he was running the theme parks. The only thing Disney saw was cash, like money and things. But now, because he is like the top person, like he is the head of Disney, he is the face of Disney. Before he was not the face of Disney. And so his words do affect how the investors feel and things like
Hmm.
that. And I personally feel like Disney overall, even though I think a lot of people would be really mad, would probably want to stay out of how they feel about this going at like any case. Like they probably
Yeah.
didn't want to make a statement saying we don't go against this or we go against or we go forward or whatever. They were probably going to stay neutral and not say a single word. Because a
About
lot
how
of other
bad he fucked
studios,
up.
they were forced to do this. And I think because that has hurt investors overall. People are
Hmm.
for it, other people are not for it. Big money chains are either for it or not for it. And so he ended up hurting them, you know.
Significantly.
And so yeah, I do agree. I think this is going to be the moment. He somehow to figure out a way to get around everything else, but I think this might be the one. We'll see how it goes. But
Hmm.
also, I do feel for a lot of families right now who are going to be going through a very rough time over the next few years
Yeah.
because of really stupid things that I don't want to get into
That's
personally,
fine.
but it's just really annoying and it's not fair.
It just
And
it saddens me as a Disney fan knowing how much Iger cared about the company and how open he was to everything. It
yes.
just showed that, as a creative, Iger was there for everything. Like he appreciated
And
everything Disney did.
I think a big reason, something you have to remember as well, I just like, say what you will about Walt Disney. Everybody has their own opinions and stuff, how you feel about him personally, as, whatever it might be. He was there. He was a creative. He worked on projects himself. He
Hmm.
also, ran the company. Iger was the same way. He was there working on projects. He had many projects in a studio, like he was a producer. He was, he was not just the head of Disney. He was a part of Disney. Whereas
He
Chapek
didn't
is
stay
just
behind a
the head
chair
of
all day.
Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Iger didn't stay behind a chair all day. He was there at premieres. He wouldn't miss premieres. And Chapek did.
And and also Iger invented Disney Plus. It was his last idea, his last hurrah to go out with a bang. And that is what most people are like. A lot of investors are still investing in Disney Plus specifically. And so he's still making money for the company, whereas Chapek has just slowly and surely,
lost them.
like, it was Chapek's idea to do the $30 on Disney Plus. You pay $30 for movies and stuff. Once again, I don't mind a movie behind a paywall. I think HBO Max should maybe do that going forward as well. You get to unlock it early or something of those lines. And then, like, maybe a month later, everybody gets it. And it's your choice if you want to watch it a month early or you can wait until
Hmm.
it's free. I think that's fine. And I honestly think that's probably where we're going to be moving forward with a lot of microtransactions. I think Netflix is going to have some similar thing as well. I think this is where we're headed because they need money, is
Hmm.
essentially what it is. And but I think doing it in the middle of a pandemic where people are losing their jobs left or right through
Was a
Disney and with
terrible
all the
idea.
money scandals that came, it was a horrible idea. And so
And
he's just not
ultimately,
making
it hurt.
good calls or
It
not saying
ultimately,
good things. I mean, the Shang-Chi
yeah.
thing was really
Oh,
bad.
and ultimately, that thirty
So,
dollar thing that he did to Disney Plus started the lawsuit that Scarlett Johansson put out on Disney, was due to the fact that she felt like she was that because she was owed the money that Disney Plus was giving her, and yet since Bob Chapek had made that decision, he didn't think about the repercussions of making said decision and what it would ultimately lead to. And then my biggest pet peeve, honestly, with everything, is how he is treating the companies within Disney. The Pixar thing is fucking ridiculous. All three of those films, whether they were big hits or not, would have still made money for Disney at the box office in some way, shape, or form. Turning Red is the biggest film on Disney Plus right now. The biggest movie. Everybody is talking about this film, as they should. It's a fantastic movie, and it should have been in theaters. It should have not been a straight to Disney Plus. If we hear by the time June comes around that Lightyear is going to Disney Plus, I am done. I'm done
Lightyear
because
won't go
that
Disney Plus.
because you're hurting the OG Pixar. Then that is hurting the original branding of Pixar, and you don't do that. And Pixar is going forward so much with what they just announced for Lightyear that they're putting back in because Disney was like, no, no, no. But after everything that's going on right now, they're putting back in the same sex kiss back into Lightyear, which I think is a great move on Disney's part to show that they're so for what's going on right now within the world. I think it's a great move on their part
But they weren't
as
going
well.
to as well.
But JPEG fucked up, so they had to find some way to find that rep around.
Yep.
It's a mess. It's a real
Because
real
I've
real
known for a
mess.
long time that I've known for a long time that Lightyear has a member of the LGBT community in its like forefront. Like they are a secondary character
If you're
who's a part of
wondering,
almost
if
the
you're wondering
entire
who it is,
journey.
it's the if you're wondering who that character is, it's the one that does the
I wasn't
fist
gonna
bump
say, but
it doesn't matter. It's the one that does the
yeah.
fist bump with Buzz Lightyear. Don't hide
So
behind
yeah,
it. It's
but either
fine.
way, it doesn't. Well, it. I mean, people like being surprised, Zach.
That's fire too.
Yeah.
Go
So
Pixar. Go Pixar.
okay. I don't really know anything about the story. Zachary, how about you introduce the last story?
So Nova's coming back to the MCU in a way. So if you Guardians of the Galaxy introduced Nova Corps, which is basically it's the Green Lanterns of the Marvel universe. They are the galactic police over the galaxy, and one of them is a major Marvel character named Richard Rider or Sam Alexander, depending on which one they do. He is kind of on that level of Carol Danvers, and he's like the ultimate power, but he's also a real goofball. So I don't know how they're gonna do this show. To be honest, it's gonna be one. It's gonna go one way or the other. Here's my I'm really excited about this. Nova's been a character everybody's wanted in the MCU for a long time. But here's my thing. We are getting into the territory now within the MCU of characters who are way overpowered. Like way, way overpowered. Captain Marvel being one of them. Nova now going into this mixture. We've also got, what's his name coming in from Guardians as well. Oh crap. Oh man, what's his name?
Warlock.
Adam Warlock, thank you. We have Adam Warlock coming in. We have Thanos' brother entering the fray now within from the Eternals. We have Blade, who you could consider as a top tier guy. The Eternal Blade, the Night guy. He's also a top tier power level MCU character. We're getting into the X-Men now, the Fantastic Four. There has to be some way that all these people can coexist and face off a major threat and make it still feel like a major threat. Because if you throw Adam Warlock, Nova, and Captain Marvel all at a main villain, that main villain's gone. There's no other
Not
way to put
necessarily.
it.
Depends on who it is.
But you're throwing top tier power level characters where you don't need the Avengers anymore. You just need the three. You don't need Hulk. You don't need Ant-Man. You don't need any of them because they don't have the power levels that they do. So I think Marvel has to find a way to nerf these characters down just a little bit. That way everybody's on the same playing field. I don't know how they're going to
I
do
don't
it.
want them. I don't know. I like having people who are a little more powerful than others. I enjoy it.
I do too, but I also want to make sure the other heroes have a chance to get in there and shine too.
They will. I mean, it's a movie. It's about shining everybody. I mean, here's the thing. Wanda has been running around the MCU for a very long time, and we know for a fact, because Kevin Feige confirmed himself, she is more powerful than Captain Marvel.
That's true. It's just another character coming into the MCU. I think it's exciting. Although
Yeah,
I don't want to get too excited because we have a lot coming this year. So we'll get to him when we get to him. Because within a week we have Moon Knight coming out, which is crazy to say, but it's the truth. And then within June,
and
we have Miss Marvel, and then Doctor Strange, and just is it Santa Marvel fatigued?
And with Moon Knight, do you want us to go? I'm not Marvel fatigued. I'm so excited. I am so excited. Give me the Marvel. I don't know when I'll be Marvel fatigued. Actually, I was just thinking the other day. You know what sounds really fun? Watching all 28 Marvel movies back to back. That sounds real fun today. So that's where I'm at. I don't know where you're at, but that's where I'm at. Did I rewatch WandaVision? Yes. Did I wasn't mad about it? No. Did I rewatch Hawkeye? Yes. Am I having a hard time getting through everybody else? Yes. But,
I think the reason I feel it, and I know you're going to hate me saying this, but it's just how I feel. I think after watching the Batman as often as I have, like I've really enjoyed that, grounded, different route. So jumping back to Marvel is going to be such a different palate cleanser that I don't know if I'm ready to do yet. But I'm hoping Moon Knight, is more along of what I'm hoping that.
Well, you can always hold off.
No, I'm not going to hold off. That's stupid of me. I'll be so out of that conversation. It'll be funny. Even if I miss the first episode, I'll be so out of that conversation.
Well, I don't know. Let's talk about in the same line of this, because the people who are writing this show are the guy who wrote Moon Knight, the same creator. So the early reactions to Moon Knight have been really mixed. Some people really like it. Some people think it's meh. No one dislikes it. Like, don't get it wrong. Everybody still thinks it's enjoyable, but some people don't understand the point. And they got the first 4 episodes out of 6, which means by 4 episodes in, you should be super duper excited about Moon Knight. And it doesn't seem like everybody is. We'll see how the actual reviews drop, and they drop on Monday. It might be Tuesday. I can't remember which one. We'll see how they actually do. Yeah. I don't know which day though. Anyway, so I'm curious about Moon Knight. I think the last trailer that they just released, a week ago, or maybe, it was phenomenal. I got super duper excited for Moon Knight. Like, I was like, ooh, Moon Knight. But it does make me wonder, because people are a little not, fully into it yet, that maybe a lot of the stuff that we got to see in that trailer isn't until the final 2 episodes or whatever. And that's when all
Mhm.
the cool stuff starts to happen. So I'm curious. I'm curious to see. I think 6 episodes is just a little too short for me personally. I felt this way about them all. I think 8 is a sweet number. I think 8's always been a sweet number for smaller streaming shows. I think you can get 8 hours of television out of anything, just about. And if you can't, then is it supposed to be a television show?
Mhm.
Is the
No, I
bigger
agree with
question.
that.
And
I think
so I don't really know how much I enjoy the fact that
I think the only one
what you
Disney wise that I'm okay with being 6 episodes is Obi-Wan. I think Obi-Wan fits that 6 episode time frame.
yeah, I think Star Wars is a little different for me personally. I think Star Wars has done really well with the 6 episode time frame. I've enjoyed or 7. I think that's how long
Boba Fett was 7.
the
I think
but also
both Mandalorian was 13.
Mandalorian was not 13.
I believe it
It's way
was.
too
It was
long.
either 11 or 12.
Oh, I got you. Mandalorian. There we go. 8
8.
for season 1, 8 for season 2.
Because
So
Boba
8.
Fett
You're
was
probably thinking
shorter.
overall because there's 6, 7. Yeah, it was 7. Um, I don't know. I'm curious. I think Obi-Wan looks more like a movie for me, and so maybe the shorter answer would be better. Moon Knight seems like a TV show to me. I
Yeah.
don't get movie vibes at all from it. And so I think 8 episodes is different. I think WandaVision probably could help from 8 episodes instead of 9. I still think there's a weak link in there somewhere. Can't figure out which one it is, but it's there. It exists. And Hawkeye, I think, deserved more time than 6 episodes. A
I
Falcon and
agree.
Winter Soldier, I think that probably did it the best. Because Loki, I even thought deserved more time. Its finale is great, but the buildup was really rushed, in my opinion, for Loki and things.
Mhm.
I don't think it moved. I think it moved too fast, and so I think 2 extra episodes could have really helped the pace on that. And so yeah, and I always thought What If was a little bit too long. And that could have just been the fact that the quality of What If for me personally was really lacking. And so maybe I would have liked it better if the quality was better. And maybe I would have been really appreciative for the extra episodes that we got for that. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. So, yeah. All right. That's the final story of the day. We're going to play. Actually, we have random shit for 10 minutes. Zachary, we forgot about it again. I need to move it down to the list.
Yeah.
It's moving. It's going down to the list. It's below the one thing now. So
There
that's
we
where
go.
we're at. It's better.
Um.
Okay.
So you saw The Outfit today, and you also saw another movie, didn't you?
I sure did. You want me to talk about them?
Sure, go for it.
All right, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit mini review. Zachary, I think, has something he wants to talk about. Well, if you guys don't know what this segment is, it's random shit for 10 minutes. It's where we literally get to talk about whatever. It does not have to be movie related. It can be video game related. It can be life related. Does not matter. We'll tip it into our human lives. My cat's doing really well. That's a random shit you didn't need to know, but she's doing slow. That type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the segment is. I'm going to start off some movie reviews. I'm going to recommend some movies to you guys. Both movies I saw this today were phenomenal. One of them I recommend for theaters if you're a horror fan. One of them I do recommend for streaming as it wasn't necessary for theaters. And I think that's an interesting conversation on its own as well that maybe one day we can have. I saw The Outfit. If you guys don't know what The Outfit is, it is it's a suspense thriller that takes place in a tailor shop that has to do with mobs. It's a lot to handle, but that's essentially what it's about. I say this because I don't want to say it's a mobster movie and you think Godfather because it only takes place in a tailor shop. There's no other locations to the movie. It's a one location, whole 9 yards. Everything takes place in 3 rooms. There's 9 actors all together in the entire film. And it's extremely well done. Creatively, it's extremely well done. The script is really good, especially if you're not familiar with this type of film. I do believe some of these twists could be very shocking to you. I just am very familiar with this type of movie. So they weren't very shocking. There's one thing that happens it's probably like the midpoint of the movie that I was like, oh my God, you just did that. But that's about it. That's like the only one. And that's okay with me. I think the movie was so well done overall. And these movies don't get made anymore. And so I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Zachary's really trying not to yawn. He's tried everything in his power not to yawn.
Sorry.
It's okay. I know I'm boring. It's fine.
No,
And
it's not you.
so yeah, that one I do recommend. I recommend it to you, Zachary. I recommend it to Dad.
I've been really wanting to see the outfit.
I think you guys will both thoroughly enjoy it when you guys get to watch it. Like I said, at home.
At home.
Yeah, not worth going to pay $20, $30 to go see in the theater.
Now talk about the one you want to talk about.
Then I also went and saw a small little film that no one's ever heard of called X. Just kidding. I'm sure you guys have probably somewhat heard about it. Is my best guess is it did cause some traction due to its content. This one, let me tell you, this one is about a group of people who want to make a porno who end up renting a bad Airbnb in the 1970s, and shit goes really wrong. And lots of boobs. Lots of boobs. Yes. Oh, also penises, there's also vagina. And people do die in gruesome ways. Oh, if you like cows, not a movie for you. And yeah.
You didn't tell me that earlier.
So yeah. It was I think it's probably going to be a 5. Right now it's not a 5, but I can definitely see this being like a 5 in the future. I think I need to see it like 7 more times and then it'll be a 5. It's like one of those movies that it's going to continue.
So you give me shit for seeing the Batman as many times as I have, but you can go see the X 7 times and go, okay.
I don't think I'm going to go see I want to see the X one more time in theaters. I'm talking about when I binge watch it at home on a loop for like 2 weeks straight. That's what I'm talking about, Zachary.
You're talking about me being at the theaters way too much.
Yeah. I can't say anything. I saw Spider-Man No Way Home like 9 times in theaters. I have no room to talk here. I'm just giving you shit.
The difference is I've already accumulated half that time within 4 viewings.
No, it's only 20 minutes shorter.
It's still 3 hours if you stay all the way through the credits, which I do every time.
Well, that's your choice. No one else's. And yeah, that one I'm gonna give a 5 for my own. But I do want to say this is based on taste. Not everybody's gonna walk into X thinking it's a masterpiece.
A24 is based on taste.
A24 is very much based on taste. Like I know a few people right away who would be like, "What did you see?" And also I know a few people who'd be like, "Yeah, bitch, I'm gonna go see that tomorrow." So like, you know what I mean?
Our grandmother.
No, oh no, bad analogy, bad analogy.
I didn't realize the analogy till I said it.
Very bad. Very long. It's very good though. Zachary, what do you want to talk about?
So I've watched 2 things over this past week. One I didn't expect to watch because I was like, it looks good, but it wasn't on my radar. Everybody was loving it, so I decided to give it a shot. The other one I've been very excited about, and it met my expectations. Turning Red, I have watched twice. This movie is fucking phenomenal. It's so different that it doesn't feel like a Pixar movie. It has its own stamp. It has its own message, and it makes you appreciate a kids movie studio that much more for what they talk about in this film and how much they respect what they're talking about and the overall metaphor what the film's about. Also, if you're looking for a kaiju movie, this is your film. That's all I'm going to say. If you're looking for a kaiju film, this is for you. It's funny. It's relatable. It's got one of the best boy bands ever. But to me, the main reason this movie works so well is Mei Mei and her friends. Her friends and Mei Mei make this movie so well. There's one little girl named Abigail in this film who is just so pumped for everything that it just makes your heart go woo. It's so good. It's so good. It's so weird. I relate to so many of Mei Mei's problems in some way, shape, or form on a familial level. It's not even funny. But when you turn into a big red panda, I kind of lose that familiarity just a little bit because I don't turn into a big red panda. I'd be a fluffy guy if I did. Um, it's a fantastic movie, Jacob. I
I
recommend
can't
this
say I was
movie
about to
to
say.
you. I recommend this movie to you 1,010%. I know you're gonna love it. Now, what I don't think you're gonna like, because I don't know if it fits your vibe at all, is Halo. Holy Halo! Now, I want to get this out of the way. The ending of the episode, they do a thing that not a lot of Halo fans like. Me and Dad being one of them. They did something that Halo should never do, and they did it. And we still don't know how we feel, but the rest of it is great. If you've seen Halo, you know what we're talking about. They do a thing that in the entirety of Halo we've never done, and it is a moment and a half to witness. Me and Dad were looking at each other like, "Why? Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
This has been so good. Why are you
I
doing
think I know
this?
what you're
Don't
talking about without knowing.
don't do it. Don't do it." And they did it, and they commit to it. It happens a lot at the end, but the elites look fantastic. The action sequence at the beginning of this episode was so good. All of the effects are fantastic. It felt like Halo. There is some great PVOV shots in this episode that just me and Dad were like, "Do you see that in the corner? Do you see that in the corner? Look, it's a map." We were freaking out over here. They do sound effects from the game that make me go, "I'm playing the game right now." I looked at Dad about halfway through the episode. I'm like, "Can I just pick up your Xbox controller and just play for a little bit here? Can I just control him for a second?" Like that thing. Now they do make some changes to Halo. Significant changes. Some people like these changes. Some people don't. Some people are kind of blue about it. You know what I mean? However, if you go to Paramount Plus, you go to change your avatar, it shows you the mistake that they made and they changed it without even showing it in the episode. They changed it. And let me tell you, Paramount, you've got to be more on your stance of how you make your CGI characters. You let it happen with Sonic, you let it happen again with Cortana. And let me tell you, it's just funny to look at. Because in the trailers, Cortana is not blue. They changed that without even showing it in the episode with an avatar picture. And it's quite funny. Like, man, Paramount's easy to give into. It's really funny.
Whoever runs the team over there, they're like, "Yeah, we know. We're people pleasers. I don't know what you want from us."
It's a real issue. They need to really stop doing it and just commit to what they do. Because all they did was literally give her a shade of blue. That's all they did. And I'm like, you could have done this before you released her image. But Paramount. They're all about changing the way things look. Look at the Turtles. Look at the Transformers. They always like changing these styles. But me and Dad got over the voice of Master Chief very quickly. I think the actor who plays him is doing very, very well. The standout to me though is Dr. Halsey. She plays so much like Halsey from the game. It's not even funny. It's so good. Um, and plus, for the first time ever, I had an hour-long episode of streaming content. It was nice, like an actual hour-long premiere, not 40, not 35, an hour. You know what? Other streaming platforms looking at you. Follow suit.
Don't know
That's
who
all
he's
I'll
talking
say.
about right there. God
Nobody at
knows.
all. Nobody. 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 Fix it. But yeah, that's what I watched over the weekend, and I loved both of them. I can't believe how much I like Turning Red. Turning Red's so good.
Do you want to hear something interesting
Go for it.
before we jump off the random shit for 10 minutes? Um, the creator of the TV show was doing interviews and stuff, and a lot of people were mad because of the changes.
Cortana ain't blue.
Well, there's other changes and stuff that I think that people were mad about, but that was definitely yep.
No.
But
Not kidding you. Me and Dad looked at each other for 3 minutes going, why?
but he was asked, did you play the game? Did you have someone who did play the game? Did you have people over who played the game? Because it's produced by 365, so you would expect them to,
Play for free.
play or whatever. I don't care. Play the game, And he said, "Oh no. I like the idea of Halo." And I was like, "Hey, can I do a Halo show?" And then Paramount was like, "Cool." And then I was like, "Do I have to be like specific if that's like Halo?" And they're like, "No." And he was like, "Cool." And then I just did what I wanted. So that's interesting.
Again.
Yeah, but here's okay. I my other thing with that is the same thing with like Mandalorian. You can't really have a TV show in which you're just paying for his voice, and I don't think any actors can be like, "Oh yeah, I'll take that role."
That's
So
what
like,
Mandalorian
I don't.
did. That's what Mandalorian did until its finales for both. The entirety of those shows, we never saw his face till the finale. Halo could have
I
given us
think
that.
you need to. I think you need to rewatch Mando season 2 and really see how many times you see his face,
You don't see it
because
as
it's a lot
often.
more than just a.
Mando season 1, we don't
I
see his face till the finale.
Yes, and it was a very big controversy if you remember correctly.
Exactly. That's what's happening here. But they did it in the first episode. And let me tell you, Jacob, it's not on when the episode ends. Oh, no. It's sitting in a seat.
And I do know, for anybody who is curious, in case this is just like an end it or not for you with Halo TV show, he takes it off a lot.
A
So,
lot. And let me tell you,
just for anybody.
Cortana's connected to that helmet, which means we're not going to see a lot of Cortana in this show because she's connected to the back of the helmet. They show us where the chip goes. It's going to happen.
Well, at least for the first 2 episodes, I think is what people got.
People have gotten.
There is no Cortana. At least the first
Yeah.
2 episodes, there's no Cortana at all. So
I don't think we'll see Cortana.
you know,
probably
maybe
until
she's
either
the final. Maybe they saving her.
Either she is the midway point for the show or she is in the finale, which we really don't. They gave her away in the trailer. Like, here's your final moment of the show. Hi, Chief. I'm Cortana. And then, show ends.
All right, guys, we're going to play a little game called Approve or Disapprove. This is where me and my brother approve or disapprove. If you guys are on the Audible, this is going to be a pain for you. We say if we approve or not, so like it's fine, but like we do a visual representation. We also have a med category, and we're going to go through the April movies, and we're going to approve or disapprove them, and we will only talk about them if they are relevant. Sorry for all you indies out there. We love you. But like, it's not fair to approve or disapprove. It's just not fair to approve or disapprove something that we have no idea what it is.
Exactly, and it's not fair to us to say something is approve or disapprove when not even the mass media will be able to get to see you.
So, Zachary, do you want to start us off?
Sure. The first movie on April Fool's Day is Morbius. What does this get, Jacob? A sounding T.
I'm gonna go with a miss, though.
Nah.
I'm not judging it till I see it. So that's my opinion on Morbius.
They put it on that day for a reason.
Okay. I do know what some of these are, but I don't think Zachary would know what some of these are.
I know what Contractor is.
Okay. Do you approve or disapprove Contractor? I'm going to go with the man on this one. I'm not a huge fan of Chris Pine. He's pretty to look at, but I've not really enjoyed him. Okay, well, there you go. All right, moving on. April 8th. I'll read these ones out loud. Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Do we approve or do we disapprove?
That gets a big old double approve for me. I'm so excited for this movie. All the early reviews for this movie are calling it absolutely fantastic. So to me, it adds to my excitement for this movie. I love the first one so much. I love this movie. I'm so excited.
I'm giving it a meh. I think the first one is meh. And I will go see Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Hopefully this is not a sign that we're about to go in a lockdown again, as yeah, that was painful. Sonic.
Don't do this to us again, Sonic. Speed away from pandemic, buddy. Speed away from pandemic.
Can we talk about how it's 2 hours and 2 minutes?
Good on you, buddy.
I don't know if I agree with that, but okay. Ambulance. Okay,
I'm a meh.
that's
Be- Michael Bay can either go one of two ways. Either it's a popcorn flick with really good action and a story is sub shit, or it can make you cry and go, wow, man, John Krasinski can really act, and it's an impressive little film that he makes. It can go either way. And I'm guessing Ambulance is going to be on the latter half, where the action looks really, really cool, but the story will be really subpar and confusing.
I don't know. I feel like I'm curious. I really like
I
Yalbatu
love the
Mateen. Oh
cast.
my, he's like one of my favorite actors at the moment. So I will see this. Yes, for sure. Um, I can't believe it's an 136 minutes. This one really did seem like a clear 90 for me, but like once again,
Ugh.
why? All right. How about cows, Zachary?
I'm.
A close-up portrait of the daily lives of two cows.
I'm really moved.
Oh,
What kind of
cows.
movie is that? How long is it? It's 90
Actually,
minutes.
not. It has
It's
a
an
good
hour
meta
and
score
a half
though.
of cows moving at each other.
And getting milked.
Yeah, like I want a 5 minute scene of some guy going to town. These guys.
I mean, I saw someone get milked tonight.
Oh man, it's like a Disney nature film without the Disney nature part to it. Oh man.
It is a documentary, so like it's not like it's. I think it'd be more funny if two people were voicing the cows, being like, "Today took a shit." Me too.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. This comes out in April of 2022. This was supposed to come out last year. Why did it get
Yeah.
delayed? Did the cows not cooperate?
I have no answer for this whatsoever. All right, Zachary. April 15th. Can you read it first before you start disapproving things?
Sorry, disapproving of Fantastic Beasts: Secret to Dumbledore.
I'm disapproving as well.
There you go.
It's
Now,
always-
I say all this, Hogwarts Legacy looks dope.
yeah, ain't playing that. So with
You'll play because I'm going to buy it.
I'm not gonna play it. And with Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore, here's the thing. I still believe that they could do it if they do it right. I still think Mads Mikkelsen could be a really good addition to this cast. Say what you want about Johnny Depp. I think the situation is horrible. Whatever, we've talked about that in length. I don't need to reiterate here, personally.
Yeah.
And if you've not been following the podcast, well, you have a lot of episodes to catch up on. Go find one that says Johnny Depp in the title. You can hear my opinion there. And so, like, that's my opinion on this. This is obviously because of JK for sure. Also, I'm just gonna be honest with you. The second movie sucked. It was genuinely a bad movie. Like genuinely, like in my top 10 worst movies of the year it came out in. So yeah, I think that also plays a factor. Like I think it sucked, but also you can't just queer bait us for like 5 movies. So unless this movie has genuine LGBT things in it, that's not just like a hand touch, then maybe I'll go see it because of Mad Mikkelsen. Because when he brings the gay. But like, I don't think they're gonna allow him to bring the gay, and it's just gonna be really annoying, and I'm just gonna be pissed off. I'm really curious about reviews though. That is why I'm curious to see what people think of it for sure.
I'm
Father
gonna see what
Stew.
reviews say.
Yeah, I think it looks good too.
This actually looks really, really good. It's a little film, but I think it could turn out to be pretty good.
I agree. April 22nd, we're gonna start with The Northman.
Oh yeah.
I got to see this trailer twice this evening. It looks so gorgeous on the big screen.
That
I'm
final
so
shot of
excited.
him axing that poor fucker off the horse is just.
I'm very, very excited. I'm very curious to see the story actually play out, and things. So yeah, no, I think I think this has a very good opportunity to be really good. So I am excited. The unbreakable weight of massive talent.
That's a major approve on this guy. This movie looks so good. I'm Nicholas fucking Cage. This looks so good. Everybody's loving it. And a brisk 105 minutes, and it was exactly what it wants to be.
Honestly, like I think this is true Nicolas Cage. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like this is like the
absolutely.
embodiment of Nicolas Cage. Like also, can we just be real here? If Nicolas Cage wins an Oscar for playing Nicolas Cage, I mean,
Like, what else do
who
you
could
need?
pass up the opportunity just to nominate him? Who do you nominate? Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage playing Nicolas Cage. You know what I mean? Like you can't just it writes itself. Okay, do you know what the bad guys is?
Yes, I do.
Okay, how do you feel about the bad guys? Do you have an
I'm
opinion?
here.
You might not have an
I'm
opinion.
here. I'm here.
Yeah.
It looks good. I think the animation looks pretty good. I'm honestly waiting on reviews for this one as well. I know they showed this at CinemaCon last year, and it came to mixed results. I know some people really liked it. Some people really didn't. I'm just gonna wait and see what everybody says. I think the cast is great. So
I think it screened Paramount Plus to me.
we'll wait and
So
see.
we'll see though. Okay. Oh, April 29th. Zachary.
I'll lose a memory watching this movie.
Yeah. I didn't even watch the trailer. I already disapprove. I don't know what that says.
Jacob, you know what memory's about? Liam Neeson being an assassin, trying to go after people who done him wrong, but he's losing his memory.
His side finds that becomes a target after he receives his complete job for a dangerous criminal organization. Oh, really? Oh, it's rated R. Maybe this is a meh for me. This might be a meh, guys.
So it's a
Liam
remake of a
Neeson in a,
2003 Banglin film, The Memory of a Killer.
but here's the thing. Liam Neeson in a rated R action thriller? That's a meh. Liam Neeson in a PG-13 action thriller? That's a no. Am I interested? Will I go see it? Maybe now. You never know. I will call it out. 10 minutes ago? Yes. Right now?
Jacob, you'll
No.
enjoy that solo outing of just you in the theater enjoying Liam
And
Neeson shooting people.
it's Martin Campbell.
You know, I bet they're relying on that name, Martin Campbell and Liam Neeson. What a duo!
How to swing the hook. Okay. Oh, gays. I'll see you, gays. I have no idea what you are, but I just realized you're gay, so I'll see you. Hey, that's it. That's April. How do we? Okay. Zachary, do you approve or disapprove April?
Um, I'm gonna give it the meh. I think there is promise in this month. There are definite aspects to where this month could go to here. Absolutely. But there are also prospects where this month can go up, you know? Like Sonic 2 really could be that that kind of film. Or Ambulance could be that kind of movie. Or God forbid for my heart, The Northman is down here.
It is Robert Eggers. I mean, like you really don't know what you're gonna get. It could
You
be
don't know what you're
amazing.
gonna get.
It could be an amazingly cut trailer and a very boring movie. # The Green Knight, or it could just be a good movie. What did I
Knight's a
say
great
you?
movie and you leave it alone.
Well, with that being said, guys, that's Approve or Disapprove. We play this once a month. We'll play it in 2 weeks' time, talking about May as we get anticipation for the May's big releases. There's quite a few. It's very exciting. And now,
Let's be real here. There's only one big May release film everybody's gonna be talking about that entire month.
no, in May, we have obviously that for sure. We also have Top Gun Maverick is supposed to come out. Really?
Supposed to.
They not promoted. Yeah, actually, now I'm looking at this. Yeah, that's it. Really, just probably that. Yeah, you correct. It's
See?
just gonna be that.
So
It has
again,
like literally the whole month to itself.
yeah.
All these
So
maybe
again,
Top Gun.
if it comes out, unless they
Oh,
find another
it's
reason
June.
to,
June's the big hitter.
yeah, June's the big hitter.
May's a soft little shallow. Okay.
It's May and the Multiverse of Madness at that point.
What are you talking about?
May and the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah. Okay. Zachary, what have you been watching?
I am on season 4, episode 3 of Truth and Consequences of Justified. That tells you what I've been watching. Been watching
Damn.
Justified. I posted this on Facebook, and I'll say this again. This is one of the best contemporary modern westerns ever put to television, and it's two of my favorite performances on television are from this show, from both Timothy Oliphant and Walton Goggins. If you've never seen this show, I highly recommend it. It's one of FX's bests. Highly recommend it. I watched Turning Red.
Out of curiosity.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, I had a question.
No, go for it.
Are you gonna watch Yellowstone?
I've been thinking about it, to be honest. Everybody's been recommending it to me. That one and 1813. So I think once I'm done with Justified, I've been enjoying the Paramount Plus a lot lately. I've been using their platform a lot recently. So I might give Yellowstone a try, just to see how I feel about it or not. Because I love Ty Sheridan. I love all of his writing. I like the stuff that he does, and so it's definitely in my provision. I've just never really sat down to start watching it, but I don't know. Once I think I'm done with Justified, I might give it a whirl for sure.
Yeah, I liked it all. Unless there's one actor in it who I don't like, so I couldn't watch it. But it would have been good if he wasn't a part of it. So.
I'll let you know if it's good or not. It's definitely on my radar. I've been watching Justified. I watched Turning Red twice. I have been. I count this as a show. It's on YouTube, but I count it as a show. Is the movie trivia Schmodown? They recently came back into studio, and that's not anyone farting. That's our cat moaning. Just to let everybody know, there's no other way to put that. That is a cat moaning. That is no one farting. Just had to put that out there. If you're wondering why my brother's muted now, is because you would be able to hear my cat go murr, 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 like a truck backing up. I have watched Halo. Loving this season of Survivor. It's been very, 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 very good. Me and my mom gossip about it every Thursday, and it's been quite fun to talk about. I am currently. Man, what else am I currently trying to get through? I finished T-Man, The Masters of the Universe Season 2.
Yeah, you finished that the last time we talked.
Well, I rewatched it again just to kind of reiterate my point right here. It should have just been a season 1 and done show, because now that show is just it's not good. It's not good. It's not good at all. I wish it was still good, but it's whatever. I kind of dropped off Masters at this point. Let's see. Watch Jackass Forever on Paramount Plus. Which, if you did not go see Jackass Forever in theaters, I highly recommend going to watch Jackass Forever on Paramount Plus, because if you just want a genuine good time of nothing but laughs, that is the movie for you. It'll have you laughing from minute 1 to minute whenever it's done. It's so good, and the new cast is just hysterical. But yeah, I've also been watching the movie trivia Schmodown. If you don't know what that is a movie trivia competition, but in a style of wrestling. It's really, 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 really good. They have new episodes of Friday Night Titans every Friday at 7 Eastern Standard Time. Definitely go give it a shot. But yeah, it's mainly been Justified. every year I try to find a time to watch the show, and I guess I chose the beginning of the year to do it. Um, I recommend it to everybody. Like, if you're a Sons of Anarchy fan, I recommend Justified to you because it's on that level of quality of show. Like, it's consistently good. And also, if you're a Walton Goggins fan, he will eat that screen up like nothing, man. It is beautiful to watch. He's so good. But yeah, that's been me. Been kind of quiet over here, not a lot, just mainly that. Jacob, what have
That's
you been
cool.
watching?
Um, I watched Bridgerton season one.
Ooh. Oh,
Uh,
I thought you watched season 2.
that's no, we're starting it tomorrow.
Uh,
I had to work and stuff, and yeah, so we're starting it tomorrow. Very excited about it. To
I
be
bet.
fair, River
To be fair.
and fucking asshole, and I what else? I've been trying to find a TV show to binge watch. It's been this ever growing
Arrowverse.
experiment. I am now in the middle of huh?
Nothing. I had a
Oh,
cough
okay.
there.
Oh,
Arrowverse.
okay.
Sorry.
Oh,
That cough over
yeah.
here.
No, still not there yet. Hey, be happy I went back to it, okay?
I know.
We
I
had its
know.
moment and now it'll come back eventually. Don't I'm starting to look at like Supergirl and get really excited again. So it's gonna happen. It's just we're not there yet. Then I think about watching Arrow and then I get really sad. And so like we're not there
Damn
yet.
show is holding you back.
Arrow just needs to
And
Arrow just needs to get better. It's just it's the moral of the story. It just needs to get I think it will get better. It's just I
it
don't know.
does.
I need Laurel to come back and not like tease me like in a villain type way.
So besides
Either way,
Bridgerton, what show
it
did you
hasn't
pick
happened.
as
I'm
your
really excited for
binger?
the finale. Huh?
What show did you pick for your binger?
Oh, right. Sorry. So I've been jumping. So I was like, ooh, let's watch originals. I wanted to rewatch originals. Then I realized how boring
Good
season
choice.
one is, and I didn't want to do that anymore. So I jumped to season four, which is a big jump, but like I've seen the show, so it's not really like a big deal in the long run. And I got like 6 episodes in, and then I was like, oh, what's this? And then now I'm watching Nancy Drew, which is pretty good. I'm enjoying myself while watching Nancy Drew.
Wait, Nancy
So
Drew's good?
yeah, Nancy Drew's pretty good.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not great. It's not like next thing to like sliced pie, but like it's good.
I didn't expect it to be that good. I'm just shocked that it's good. Like, how do you do like a long form show
Yeah,
about Nancy
no. I,
Drew?
I mean,
Oh, look, there's a case solved. You know?
well, they are going really into supernatural elements and
Is she
stuff,
connected to
and so that's
Riverdale?
how you know
Is she connected to Riverdale?
she is not. But you could basically say she is not. But you could basically say they are. But she's not. So,
When is
but yeah,
Sabrina going on to Riverdale?
so she's been there, done that, moved on.
Oh,
She has a new TV show coming out.
who do?
Kira Shipka has a new Kira Shipka.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah. That's I think that's everything. I haven't really been watching movies. I've been wanting to watch movies, but I keep thinking to myself, "Oh, that's such a long time. I don't want to waste 3 hours of my life." And so I don't watch movies, even though I really want to watch movies. I won't allow myself to do it. Um,
You
I
say
haven't
that
really
for a
been
theater.
playing games either, unless it's that's different. And yeah, and this week I probably won't watch a single thing. So I'm watching Bridgerton. And that's it, probably this week because I'm binge reading a series of books that are like it's 5,000 pages I'm going to be reading this week or something like that.
Nice.
So
Game
yeah,
wise, I restarted Arkham City again, because that game's just freaking amazing. I took a break from Valhalla because it's a lot, and I've been doing a lot of Valhalla, and I just need to take a break from it. I'm getting ready for Lego Star Wars. Very, very excited about that. And I tried playing Halo today. I love Halo Infinite. Love that game. I'm in a position right now to where I just want to throw a controller at a wall, so I stopped playing it. But yeah,
Okay. It's a bit aggressive, but okay. Alrighty.
if you were in my position,
Well,
you'd be
that brings
aggressive
us to the
too.
last subject of the matter. If you are audio listeners, you don't watch us on YouTube, you probably won't care about movie commentaries. What?
Nothing.
What was funny?
Nothing. I said if you were in my
You
position,
laughed
you'd
though.
want to throw a controller too. That's all.
Oh, okay. And so for movie commentaries, I decided to make my choice a little bit different. I have gone through,
To
and
let
because I'm not
everybody
watching
know,
movies right now,
this is my
I picked
to let everybody
1,
know
2,
I'm
3,
hearing about this
4
for the first time right now.
special movie.
I'm waiting.
I couldn't hear you.
Oh,
Acu-
I let the
Yeah,
audience know I'm learning about this for the first time because you kept changing it.
yes. So Zachary is going to pick a number between 1 and 5, and whatever
God
number he
damn it!
chooses is what
No,
we'll
no,
watch.
no, 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 no. No, just pick one. Just pick one and be happy with it. Don't do this to me. Because I
Nope.
know one of them is
Nope.
Suspiria, and that's going to be a whole minute. No, no, no.
It's not. It's not. It's not.
That's a bunch of bullshit, and you
No,
know
no,
it.
no. It's not. All these movies. Well,
See, you're laughing, and that
all
doesn't give
these
me any
movies
hope.
but one.
Yeah, Suspiria.
But
Don't
all
beat
these
around
movies
the
but
bush.
one. It's not Suspiria. I'm not telling you what it is, but it's not Suspiria. So, Zachary, you have two. You can either choose 1 through 5, or I can put it through a number generator. But I think it's more fun for you to choose. So, like, we're just gonna sit here till you pick a number, 1 through 5.
Oh man. Okay. One's the worst. Two's the second worst. Third, the third worst. Fourth's the fourth worst. Let's go with 5. God damn it! What did I do? Well, ladies and gentlemen, there will be the first solo movie commentary right there for you. Jacob Jones will be doing a solo commentary to what film? I'm guessing it's Suspiria.
No, no. Zachary's not allowed to back out from it. No. Okay, so we're gonna go in order. I'm gonna tell you what they were in order. And by the way, the 5th one was the only one that you probably would not like. So good for you.
Me and my dumb number algorithms. First
Okay,
the
so
worst,
the
second
number
the worst,
1,
third the
your
worst.
first choice was Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City.
I've been fine with that.
Pretty good choice. The second choice was Cabin in the Woods.
That's really. I'm crying over
Another
here.
pretty good.
Pick?
The third choice. The third choice was Little Woman, a movie I've been trying to get into watch for a long time now. The fourth choice was The Great Gatsby. All good movies. All movies.
5.
I don't know if he enjoys The Great Gatsby, but all movies
Not
he would
really.
watch, right? You know, the 5th movie.
Oh, you can't even say that.
It's a little movie. It's a little movie that's gonna turn him red. I don't know if that's gonna give it away or not.
Oh no!
But
it's Jennifer's body.
he's gonna be Scarlet through most. It is. I put it in there as a joke, expecting him not to choose 5 5. You never pick 1 or 5. You always pick a middle number. That's how it works. I expected like Little Women,
What a commentary
or
this will
Cabin in
be.
the Woods, or The Great Gatsby, but no, he picked number fucking 5. Can't wait to have the opening conversation for that commentary. Zachary, what's your experience with what's your experience with Jennifer's Body?
Oh man. Oh man.
Okay.
Well,
also should mention it's the unrated version.
Oh, cool.
It's the unrated
Well,
version.
I dug this hole.
Yeah.
I love the fact that it's your week to choose, and yet I'm the one that's suffering.
I tried. I gave you 4 options that were pretty good. Honestly, were you going to be mad at any of those 4 options? No.
No.
You just have to choose badly, which is so funny.
Oh, man.
Okay, well, next week
That explains
we'll
why
be
your
watching
cackling was so
Jennifer's Body.
hard. That explains a lot now.
Yes. So funny. Okay, well, that's movie commentaries. Zachary, do you want to do the outro?
To be honest, not really. You got this, buddy.
I don't care. Do the outro.
Like, rate, subscribe. Hit that comment section or whatever. You know, go do the things where you look at the things and you subscribe to our things or whatever. Don't watch this week's commentary. You can skip this one. Not a lot's going to happen with it. It's kind of a quiet one. Not a lot to talk about. You can skip it. Move on from it. Lord knows, I hope no one shows in the comments section.
Don't skip it. Jennifer's Body is an excellent film.
No, it's a great movie. Just don't watch it for the commentary because boy, oh boy, man, you're going to get an earful from someone over here. Well, I keep my mouth shut. That's it.
Now, I'm sure you'll have thoughts to say.
No. God, no.
Okay, well, do you want to sing a song? Do you want to sing a song? Okay. God, no. God, no. God.